about to talk about. My mom watches this sometimes, and she'd be like, "Ben, why do you use so many bad words? Free country, free country."
Oh,
As you can see, we have the ginger snap pea over here. Robert Steven Diaz, fresh off his birthday vacation. How you doing, my beloved cousin?
I'm doing great. I'm freezing. I'm also wrapping my entire body in this blanket so that I don't touch my beard and get shit from John later.
There's no beard there. That's what John's gonna say.
I got it.
What is that shit?
No, it's
a
Hey,
patchwork.
that's a topic.
We got the same fact.
That's a
That
topic.
is a
That's a
topic.
topic.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on. We won't touch that yet because that's coming on later. But yeah, man. So obviously wanted to have you on Sunday, but you
Yes.
were out vacationing with the fam. Where'd you
I
go,
was-
bro?
I really didn't go anywhere. I was actually crying in my room after Tony Ferguson lost. But you know, we went to a cabin in a place called Lakemont, which is about 40 minutes away from Helen. You've been there before.
Yeah.
And it was like up on this mountain, and you could see like creeks and multiple mountains, and it had a fire pit, and it was pretty awesome. Even though the last day that I was there,
That's
I
cool.
was sitting outside by the fire, and I heard very loud rustling, something that was a little bit louder than a dog, definitely bigger than some small creature. And I remember them saying that, you know, there was bears there, so be careful. So I hauled ass inside and let the fire burn all night long, and went back
Yeah.
inside.
And you let your wife clean up after you, and
She was already
put the
gone.
pants back on.
Yes. Well, yeah. No, I went out. I went out with clothes. It was cold.
You went out with a kilt.
Yeah.
No pants though, right? Not in that relationship.
She'll tell you I'm the man. I'm not worried.
No, you're not.
The man that runs inside
No,
because
you're
he
not.
hears a little rustling, and then lets
Yeah.
the fire go all night. Got
Rustling
it.
my ass. That shit was like a 500-pound rustle. And I
They're
was
your
like,
words, not mine, man.
Mm-mm. I don't need that bullshit in my life. And then I die by a bear and have you live? Fuck that. And run this podcast? Jesus Christ, I couldn't do that. I have things to live for.
Oh, it's your podcast. Okay.
It's
I got it.
I want to. Hey Vallejo, I got a little thing you should know about the Diaz's. We come from a long line of storytellers. We're not the heroes. All right. Like, yo, you heard that shit. We ain't,
Yeah, you're right.
we
The
ain't gonna stick around
heroes
anyway.
never live to tell the story. Got it.
Exactly.
No,
Fuck 'em,
no,
they're dead.
yo, you saw that. You saw that asshole go towards the noise. We'll be like, yo, I'm gonna go this way. Noise that
Yeah.
way. I'm gonna go check out what's going on over
Someone's got to live to tell that story.
Nobody ever lives.
here.
I
Exactly.
didn't
What's
need
that? What's that? Like that joke that Kevin Hart said. I'm a good witness. I'm gonna tell somebody what happened. I ain't gonna hang around. I ain't gonna hang around and shit. Like,
No,
fuck all that
thank
noise.
you.
But yeah, man. Obviously, me and Johnny Boyce hit UFC 249 pretty good on Saturday, but wanted to have you on and talk about. We could just talk about the main event. If you want to talk about the Cejudo retirement, we could talk about that. But what did you do? So I thought it was a shocking performance from Justin Gaethje, bro. I did not see that happening. And I've seen all of Gaethje's fight. I've never seen him perform like that.
He really wanted it. He really wanted it. And you can tell. But
Love that
also
insight.
where Gaethje overperformed, I think Tony Ferguson underperformed.
Mhm.
You saw a lot less from Tony Ferguson than you ever see. And I think the whole thing contributes to just speed. I mean, Gaethje was much faster than Tony Ferguson on Saturday, and that
Mhm.
has a lot to do with it. I mean, and then those left hands. I mean, Gaethje's left hands. If Tony Ferguson wasn't going to block any of them, that was like his own demise. I mean, it was easy work almost because he just kept going one right
Yeah.
after the other, and it's almost like leg kicks in fights. Sometimes these fighters don't check leg kicks, and like Max Holloway, that's how he really
Yeah.
lost against Volkanovski. But I've never seen somebody not protect their own face, and if anybody's gonna not protect their own face, I guess it's gonna be Tony Ferguson. But yeah, I was sad, man. I was sad because that's my guy right there. But you know, he's in good
Yeah.
spirits. He'll come back hot. He'll adjust. I mean, did he not have the longest UFC win streak? 12 fights.
He had 12 going for him.
12.
Khabib had
Oh,
he had
Khabib.
12, but now Khabib has the number. Yeah, Khabib has it now because I think Khabib hasn't lost, right? 28-0, 29-0, or whatever.
Yeah, well, we're talking
But
about
I
UFC.
think
What's his
only
UFC?
11. Yeah, I think 11. I think it's 11. So now he's got the number. He's got the streak now because Ferguson had 12, or they were tied at 12. I think Khabib. John, you can check on that for me if you want. I think Khabib matched it when he beat Poirier. Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah,
That's fine.
but
Doesn't really matter.
to me, if you look at the fighters that Tony Ferguson's been fighting and Khabib's been fighting, the only good, real good fighters that Khabib has fought is Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor.
And Conor.
That's it.
Yep.
I mean, Tony Ferguson
Yeah.
wiped out entire weight
Fucking
classes.
weight classes.
Yeah, he just killed
Yeah.
everybody. Now Khabib's to me until Khabib starts fighting like top 6 guys and fights all of them and beats them, then I'll tip my hat off. But we have this thing now in the UFC where like even with Henry Cejudo, you're fighting people, and then you're fighting okay fighters, and then you're not fighting for almost 2 years, and then it's like you're still the champion.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh come on, man! You have people like Donald Cerrone who. Which I was shocked that he was a prelim. Like that's kind of messed up. I get that he's had a couple of losses, but
4 in
he's
a row
fighting
now.
he's beating the best of the best. So I mean, he's fighting the best of the best.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he's fighting the best of the best. I haven't seen, other than a drunk ass Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier, who is probably top 6, top 7 in that division, like ish. If I wanted to be generous, I'd give him top 5.
Dustin Poirier knocked out Gaethje.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
In the third round of a fight. I actually watched that fight the other day. It was like on Free Fight. Sorry, smacked the shit out of my camera. It was like a free fight, and I watched it, and it was a hell of a back. It was very similar to the Tony Ferguson fight, but Dustin Poirier has better stand up than Tony Ferguson, right?
Yeah.
Like Ferguson is just ferocious with a stand up. Dustin Poirier is a better striker, has better boxing and stuff like that.
And he didn't get knocked out.
It was interesting to see that. Nah, and he didn't get knocked out. Those are his 2 losses, right? Like Eddie Alvarez and Dustin Poirier are Gaethje's 2 knockout losses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And he almost beat him at the end of the second round. If only he had 10 more seconds, it would have been it would have been a different thing.
Yep.
But Gaethje, I guess, adjusted well and made out the winner of it.
That's what we talked about. And while we were watching the fight, we're like, hey, at the end of the second round, he's looking gassed. And I think we said the exact same thing. If there were another 10, 15, 20 seconds, I think Tony would have ended that fight. And we thought, okay, here it comes. Tony is still not breathing hard, and Gaethje is over here gasping for air. We're like, he's about to turn it on, and he didn't. Gaethje, whatever they told him in that corner, he made the adjustments, and Tony. Yeah. I mean, but it doesn't matter what adjustments you make. Tony refused to put his hands up. He was just like taking those lefts to the face and kept coming forward. And that's what Tony does. That's why he's so crazy. But it wasn't just that, right? It was the rights. It was the leg kicks. He was taking a beating. And I know that Gaethje's got power. What was surprising is that he was so much faster than Tony. And even though Tony's not known to have that type of power, but he's known to be faster than that, and he looked like he didn't belong in that fucking octagon, man. It was
the last 7 fights he's bloodied up every single one of his opponents, and he didn't do it with Gaethje. I think speed was a large factor. I did see on Instagram a scenario, and so now obviously Justin Gaethje gets to fight Khabib, which is what nobody wanted. But if
allegedly, you never know what Dana White does.
Yeah.
You never know Dana White.
If Khabib beats Justin Gaethje, and then so the scenario was Khabib and Gaethje and Tony Ferguson and Conor McGregor. So if Conor beats Tony and Khabib beats Gaethje, it's going to be Conor and Khabib. Or if Tony beats Conor, then we're gonna get that Khabib and Ferguson fight. I mean, it's almost like a win-win in every scenario when those guys fight again, all 4 of them. I think I don't think Gaethje has what it takes. I think he's good. I'd give him like Dustin Poirier good. I think that Khabib is going to take him and just kick his ass.
I don't know. So, John, I just want a couple of thoughts here. Like, I don't know what Gaethje's ground game is like because I've never seen it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a national champion wrestler. But that's Khabib's home. Right? He's not gonna
Mhm.
stand up there and strike. He's just gonna hit you one time to throw you off because you're just looking. What the
Yo,
fuck?
you're about to get abducted by aliens right now. What's happening?
What
I
happened?
don't know.
Yo,
I'm scared.
I'm scared for you.
I'm scared for you.
There we go. Shit. Ooh.
That was scary.
He's got that
I
motion
was
sensor light.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
It was
you were about to see. You guys were about to see a Diaz in live action. I was about to be out. I'm
Okay.
watching it on video.
Just close the computer. Just slam it on the ground.
Yeah,
I
I'd
don't
be
know,
out the chair I'm sitting in, just keep spinning, just
man.
run off so fast. Like,
My brother just
but yeah.
installed this, so it's probably sucks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably. But yeah, I don't the whole dude. I don't know. Like, I don't know what Gaethje's ground game is gonna be. Right?
Mhm.
I've never seen it. He's never had to go to the ground. Every fight he's ever had is stand up. Everybody stands up with him.
Yep.
Khabib's not gonna do that, right? Khabib's
Nope.
never going to do that with anybody. So I don't. So with Gaethje being a national champion wrestler, what damage can he do on the ground? It's gonna be about takedown defense. If he can stop 2 or 3 and give himself a couple minutes on the stand up, that's when Khabib's in any kind of danger. But if it
Yeah.
goes to the ground, it's.
Nobody's ever
I
gonna
mean,
beat.
it's
Like if I was Gaethje, I would look at. And I'm pretty sure he's seen it 1,000 times. I would look at the fight between
I quit the fight.
Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar. Remember, Brock Lesnar did the same thing to every single person. Trampled them, took them down, and gave them those shitty little bunny hits to
Talking
stop
about
the
back from like
fight.
2011, 2000.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I think it was
literally
like 2014, 2015, I think it was. I could.
I don't even think it was
No,
that
no.
recent.
I was still recruiting. I was in South Carolina.
God,
And so
I'm
I
old.
left in 2012. So it was 2010, 2011. It's been about 10 years, right? That's the
Yeah.
fight we're talking about, right? That one time.
Yes, where he won the belt, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar could not take down Cain Velasquez because his defense was
Yep.
pretty much probably the only thing that he had worked on. And I think Gaethje should
Yeah.
do the same thing. I think if you're gonna stop Khabib, you got to stop him from taking you. But that's also easier said than done because guy wrestles
Yeah.
with bears. So I mean,
That's true. But look, here's the thing, though.
That team
Tony's supposed to have a monster ground game, and I don't know if he attempted
That's
it,
why we
but
wanted
it didn't
Tony to beat.
look. It didn't look like he attempted any
I don't
type
think
of
he did.
takedowns. Like I don't know if he couldn't or because Gaethje and that right and left hand kept him at bay and he kept that distance. But I never
fe-
even saw him try.
I feel at some point, Tony, after knocking him like almost out on round 2, I feel like he felt like he had that in the bag. I feel like
Maybe.
he thought, all right,
Yep.
well, I've done this and I had him. All I needed was a couple more seconds, so that's my game plan. I'm gonna knock him out because he's in Tony's mind. He was probably like, I could easily knock him out, but it
Right.
never happened. It never happened.
Never.
Sometimes I think that they forget
That-
about the time
that-
on the clock.
Yeah, that was the changing moment for the fight. That second round in those last 10 seconds, because me and John were like, "Oh, that's it, bro. It's about to be
about to be a wrap.
Tony time. He's gonna overwhelm him with his punches and his cardio." And the fight went completely the opposite way.
Yeah.
I think that I think rounds 3 and 4, me and John were like mostly quiet because we watched it on WhatsApp, right? Like we video called, and I'm watching it. I was kind of stunned because I was like, dude, like he's whooping his ass. At
Yeah.
that point, I was like, I got Justin 2-1. I got Justin 3-1. I got
Mhm.
Justin 4-1. Tony's gonna have to knock him out. And then
Yeah.
like it was just so like shocking. And that's the thing with Tony, right? It's like the
You don't
only
know.
reason why I wanted to see that fight with Khabib was because of his ground game, right? Because Tony works his best off his back,
Yes.
right? So he'd be a winning participant in the grappling. I don't know how good Justin's submission game is off his back, how his takedown, because he's never had to do it. Nobody's ever
Yeah.
tried to take him down,
Yeah. And
so I don't know.
that's another thing. Like a lot of people were saying
But I'm
that
a big,
Tony prepared for the most part for Khabib, and then
Yep.
he got Gaethje in 3 weeks, and it was like, well, I mean, but then again, I feel like at some point Gaethje knew that he was going to get Tony because Khabib was going to be out, and he started before him. But I mean, you never fucking know. All I know is that I want to see.
They have the same manager.
Normally, I don't like to see, on one-sided ass whoopings. I don't like to see them twice. But a fight like that, I want to see that one again. I want it to be run back.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a tactical mistake made by Tony in that second round because he probably thought, he thought what we were thinking, that he was going to take it. Except instead of going to his strengths, he thought he was just going to continue to do what he was doing in the second round, and try to match strength for strength. But with Gaethje's stand up game, I mean, no, Tony's good, but he's not that good. Not at the stand up.
No, and those leg punches really weren't helping his cause. Like
we were asking the same shit. What the fuck was up with the leg punches?
Like I get it, it's to distract you. It was to distract him, but he did it so much that it just became something stupid.
Yeah, and then he didn't do anything else. He didn't actually use it as a distraction. He just used it as an actual like trying to cause damage. I don't know, because he didn't attack off of it. He didn't throw any combinations off of it. No feints. It was just a straight leg punch and then back to stand up.
And you see, one thing Tony Ferguson is known for are those killer elbows.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
Didn't throw one. He fought at distance when that was Justin's game. He never tried. He never even took him against the fence and tried to do a spinning elbow or cut him up or nothing. Like, it was like you fought Justin's fight. You get what? But again, like he said it after, which kind of came off like an excuse, right? Was that like you said, I trained for Khabib since November. Then you don't take this fight, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, like we talked about it, it's easier said than done, because now, like you never know what can happen. Let's say he fights. Let's say Tony fights Conor, right? Loses to Conor because Conor has more pinpoint accuracy with a stand up, right? Like that's one thing Conor's unquestionably great at, is a stand up.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's what he doesn't have much takedown defense, no grappling much. You know what I mean? Like that's well documented. We've seen it. You take him down to the ground, you're probably gonna win. So if you try to do that same shit with Connor's gonna beat you even faster.
Yeah.
So
Conor won't let that go to.
Then we never get that.
Yeah. Then we'll never get a Khabib.
Like that. Conor ends that in. Then we'll never get Khabib and Conor, Khabib and Tony, and then Khabib and Conor is the same thing. Like it's gonna be the same fight. He's gonna take him down. He's gonna out grapple him. You think Conor wins?
No, I think that it goes all 5, but I don't see it happening like it did last time. Conor was a stubborn fuck. That was a drunk ass Conor, and Conor's a stubborn fuck. If you can see what happened with him and Diaz 1 versus 2, he doesn't really let the same mistakes happen twice. He's very smart, super technical. So he's the kind of person that learns from his mistakes. So the Conor and Khabib fight, that not only is it a money fight, but to me it looks like fun again.
Yeah. Do you think? And this leads us perfectly. And John, I'm about to cut you off. Do you think a lot of fighters, just by like via their social media, like think Conor is more trash than he is? You know what I'm saying? Like underrate Conor.
People hate Conor McGregor because he does talk a lot of shit and he has lost. But when he's at his best, you get the Conor McGregor versus Cowboy Cerrone. Like that, you get the Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo. When Conor is paying attention and he has something he needs to do, he does it. So, I mean, I have faith in him because I've seen Conor in the past fuck things up and then come right back like, oh shit, I fucked up, and then kill it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I
think that Conor versus Eddie Alvarez is probably one of the best performances in a title fight I've ever seen. Like that's a whole, because Eddie Alvarez was not trash in any way. No. He made Eddie Alvarez look like it was his first fight ever in anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they just picked him out the crowd, like, hey man, you want to try this? Like he picked him apart. Like Anderson Silva and Forrest Griffin. Remember when like Forrest Griffin was like, all right, and he ran out the octagon? That's what that was.
I was in California.
What were we gonna say, John?
No, I was disagreeing.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's I think Conor's going to come back. I mean, Conor showed us. He came back. He didn't have that ring rust, and he killed it. Same thing with Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo was a champion forever. Nobody could beat him. And then Conor just comes and punches him and just takes him out.
13 seconds.
13 seconds.
Now,
which,
so are you
speaking
guys?
of Conor,
Go ahead.
yeah, I think we're done with the recap. You want to throw it up there? Have you seen John? I want to give a shout out to John on the podcast, so he stopped saying that. Oh my God, you're always so mean to me.
Is that what I say? Really? Wow. It's funny that you say that in Steven's voice.
Dan, why you such a
There you go. Sounds about right.
Fucking criminal minds,
He's so mean
Dan.
to me. Yeah.
Criminal
That's
minds.
exactly what a ginger sounds like.
Criminal
Everybody
minds.
knows Law and Order SVU's. Law and Order SVU's better than us. Everybody knows that.
I mean, when we're done with the podcast, we're like, hey, I gotta go because I gotta watch SVU. You're the one that's watching this shit on. But okay.
I'm cold.
All right, so this led. So speaking of Conor, right? It led him to go on like a 6 or 7 tweet rant from UFC 249. So he starts off with, "The fans make the sport!" Exclamation point. Watching the other night, I was against going in without them, but it will be my fucking pleasure to display my power I possess with zero background noise for them. It's me and Justin. Next is Khabib is the biggest bottle fighter in the game. I don't know what bottle fighter means.
I don't know.
Does anybody
Battle?
know?
Maybe he meant battle.
No, I don't think so. Not in the context of that tweet.
I don't think so. I think he meant bottle. Like I don't think he's ever gonna give Khabib a compliment in any way whatsoever. I love Tony. We represented him. We represented him amazingly at Paradigm Sports, and we were betrayed for a promise of a baseball contract. But frame and preparation here was just embarrassing. His methods and conversations are humorous and enjoyable, but he was never the level perceived, although tough. That's real, right? Like you gotta that's great. I think his analysis of other people's fights, he can separate himself from the emotions in that. Not being like a Conor Dick rider. What do you guys think so far?
I think he's off on where he says Tony wasn't the level perceived. You saw the type of people that he was fighting and beating.
Of course.
So I mean, but that so he's off on that. But again, he's Conor, right? He's gonna do what he's gonna do to draw attention.
Yep.
He's gonna fight in a few months.
Yep.
And so he's gotta start that media and social media kind of attention and frenzy, so that when they actually start going out and promoting, well, not going out, but promoting these fights, there's awareness already.
I really think that it should have been Gaethje and Conor and Tony and Khabib. Don't set anything else up. Like, I think, I don't know, it's almost getting to like where you watch soap operas where you have to wait years before you see the fight that people have been talking about for like 3-4 years already. And
I don't think Khabib fights in 3 years though. I think Khabib has, and I told John this. I think Khabib does maybe 2 or 3 more fights max, bro. Like I don't, because he's another one like Henry Cejudo, right?
Yeah,
he's been doing this since he was born. He's got to be exhausted, right? Because this is like, let's be not Khabib apologists, but Khabib's one of the most dominant fighters we've ever seen. Regardless, you know what he's gonna do. You could train for it, try to stop it, bring everybody in, and he still takes you down and does whatever and talk shit to you while he's doing it in a terrible accent that makes Ivan Drago sound like fucking like Creed. You know what I mean? Like it's a totally different beast. So then he goes, "It is Dustin or Tony next when Tony heals. If he does, Dustin will beat him also if he doesn't change his methods, which they won't. Dustin, although game and in the mix, he will be fed to the floor again because he did.
Jesus.
He said that because Dustin was knocked out by Conor. Conor did knock him out, and when they were at 145, couple wins here and there, and then folded in half. Rinse, repeat. That's Dustin's career. God, like he's going at everybody. Like you know what he's doing?
Wrong.
Like he's right now. He's like Eminem at the last battle in 8 Mile. Let me say everything he's got to say about me. Like he's just roasting him. He goes, Justin, there is no danger for a man that hugs legs. We all know. Try and dance around what the real threat is here all you want. I'm going to fucking butcher you. Your teeth, I'm going to put them in a fucking necklace. Speak on my skills as a father, you are fucking dead. Ooh, I didn't know Justin talked about him as a dad.
I haven't seen any of that.
I think that was I don't know Justin Gaethje's handle, so I haven't even checked that. Don't ever say you represent the great nation of the United States of America ever again. No true American would speak highly of or allow a convicted member of a jihadi terror. Oh, no, I'm not going into that one. I didn't know he said that. I'm leaving the
Yes.
terror shit alone because I'm not trying to prompt. You are a fucking blind fool, and I'm going to finish his job because he's
So
talking about
they share
when he talks about
what's that dude's name?
the shit. Same manager,
Yeah,
Ali Abdelaziz.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh, I hate him.
Did you
yeah.
watch the
Khabib is an
rant that
absolute
he went off
embarrassment.
on?
Yeah. It was intense. They hate each other, bro. Khabib, you are an absolute embarrassment. Scurrying, hiding rat as usual. As I have said many times, it has been many times. Through the pane of a glass, it was confirmed. What was always known, quote unquote, no comment, LOL, as an embarrassment to real fighting. After this division demolition, it is 170 pounds. See you in July.
So,
Bam, bam.
so I'm reading here. It's kind of weird because he's
Jesus.
responding to a tweet. He's responding to a tweet from Justin Gaethje in 2019, where um, Conor said, "Book my rematch for Moscow in September 7th, 2019." And Justin Gaethje replied to him, "You're a tool. You have lost everything already. You're a shit human, father, and husband. Fuck you."
Oh damn.
I beat his ass long. I don't know why he's waiting this long to talk.
I don't
But
understand why he didn't take that fight instead of fucked him up in February, whenever that Connor Cowboy fight was, because I would have fucked him up on site, bro.
yep. God,
What
there's
the fuck?
that division has a lot of shit going on.
Yeah. The rumor I'm hearing though is that he's not even going to do that. He's going to fight Masvidal for the BMF title because for some
No.
reason Usman can't fight. I
Fuck,
don't want to see
bro.
that though. Like,
I don't
that's what I'm
care.
hearing. That's the rumor mill. I don't want to see, like, it's cool. I get it, but it doesn't have the same build up like a Khabib Connor, a Gaethje Connor, and the same manager. You have all the same built-in storylines.
Yeah,
It leads for a bigger draw. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
like a soap opera.
What are you gonna say, Johnny? It is a soap opera.
It's what have you done for me lately, right? Like you,
Mm-hmm.
Gaethje just had this giant win over Tony,
Hmm.
and then we forget the monster year that Masvidal had. Like we know he's a journeyman, and he had and 2019 was out of character, but he had these incredible finishes. I mean,
Yep.
I get it would be an extra fight if he fights Connor, then it takes away the other fights we're talking about with Tony and
Exactly.
Connor and Khabib and Gaethje, but
Yep.
I can't forget about Masvidal because I would rather I don't want to take away from the fights we want to watch, but fuck, I'd rather watch Connor and Masvidal than Masvidal and Usman.
Yeah,
Usman
but
would
then you
not be an
also
exciting
have
fight.
here's the thing. So by doing a Connor, because they're two different weight classes, and even though you're getting, because Connor keeps going down and up and down and up,
Yeah,
but you're gonna lose. You're losing storylines here. You're losing Connor and Gaethje, Connor and Khabib, Connor and Tony, or any of those guys
Yep.
mixed in. And then on Masvidal's side, yeah, you have. Even though I wholeheartedly believe that Masvidal is going to beat the shit out of Usman, you're also still listen. I know that he wasn't the most exciting fighter in the world, but I still think that Tyron Woodley should fight against Usman. And you know what? Have Kobe Covington fight Jorge Masvidal, because that's a bad blood fight. Like there's so many fights that these guys
Yeah.
have lined up for them. Stop looking for like these quick 1 day payouts because your other fights are owed, man. There's other fights owed.
I didn't know we were watching
I agree with you.
WWE with storylines,
No,
but I
that's
got
what
you.
it feels like.
No,
That's what it feels like.
Well, it
That's
is.
like
what it is, bro.
Ever since Connor came into the game and changed with this whole personality and all the crazy shit he does
I
outside,
feel I feel like it got like this with Brock Lesnar. It really did. Like it was a joke.
maybe.
And
Yeah,
Yes.
and you have somebody who also fought on 249, Francis Ngannou, which
yeah.
I knew was gonna win. I saw a Twitter
Yeah.
post that somebody put, I'd rather get hit by a Ford Focus going 60 miles per hour than get hit by Francis Ngannou. And
Yes. Yes.
but you're getting Cormier and Stipe 3. Like
Stipe.
get give
Yep.
Ngannou his fucking shot. And
Yeah.
if Ngannou beats Stipe, then guess what? Cormier gets to come back. Like stop looking for your revenge fight. And that's the thing that I really don't like about Cormier is that he's had losses against Stipe and John Jones. He always wants to keep fighting that person till he beats them. or he has to be the last
Yeah.
man to win because he has like this thing in his mind where his legacy is important. Bro, to every guy, these legacies are important. I don't want to see Daniel Cormier fight anymore. He's done enough. I've
Yeah.
already seen what he's about. I don't
Yeah.
want to see a Stipe and
Hall of
fucking
Famer.
Cormier 3. Yes, you already got it.
Yep.
Get out of here. Like, I want to see Ngannou, and that's what he
You know
was
what,
calling
though?
himself. The uncrowned
I'd
heavyweight
rather.
champion.
I would much rather. I would much rather have Stipe even retire, right? Because he's having issues with his eye. That like he has like a detached retina or something, where
Yeah.
it might turn into like the
Fuck.
same thing as Bisbing. So I'm good with him, dude. Like I like look, you have a great job as a firefighter. You know what I mean in Ohio, near Cleveland.
What's in Ohio?
Just has to be near you, right, John?
About 25 minutes from here. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
One
Is
of
it
these
called
So
suburbs
he's
Denver?
by
around
you, right? So he has.
here. In the 40s.
Sorry.
Let's stick to the topic, huh?
Yeah. So he has. So I'm good with both of them retiring, bro. Like I don't want to. Like I don't want to see a third fight. I'm good. Like I saw it twice. That's enough for me. You know what I mean? Stipe beat him. Stipe is one of the greatest heavyweight champ of all time in the UFC. So there's the next one. The man has 6 title defenses or whatever it is. He has 5 championships. Like I'm good there.
And
Let
heavyweights don't
somebody
stick
else
around
go.
like that.
Yeah.
Heavyweights don't stick
Yeah,
around like
no,
that.
I don't. Yeah, they don't, brother. Like he had the most title defenses, and he only kept upping it himself, and he's the only one to ever win it back. I think. Like nobody, no other heavyweight. Maybe like back in the days of like Randy Couture, when there was
Yeah.
like nobody in the UFC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But besides that, now it's that. So I'm good with moving on. Both of them retiring because I also don't like DC talking shit to Stipe. Like Stipe's the type of person, you know what I mean? Like I see
can't
like these
even-
tweets like, "Oh come on, champ, you're hiding from me." I was like, dude, calm down, bro. Like this isn't. There's no real rivalry here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, this isn't John Jones and DC. Like you're trying to make something out of nothing. Now you just look fake. I get it, and it's the same as what you said, right? Like, all you're trying to do is get that W back. But dude, he outclassed you over. You got luck. You got a good
Lucky.
shot in the first fight
Mhm.
after an eye poke that he called for, and then you clocked him, and then he beat your ass with body punches and then knocked you out.
Yes.
Like we're good, bro.
Yeah,
we're
no.
good.
The first fight, I mean, obviously, Daniel Cormier was winning, and he was doing good, but you know he did that like this and knocked Stipe out.
Yeah.
To me, that's luckier than what Stipe did to him, where he calculated those body shots
Mhm.
and he focused on them and he paid attention to those things. Like he used skill to beat you.
Yep.
And I think that at some point, maybe Daniel Cormier doesn't want to be the one to have lost against 2 people and never beat him after. So he wants to get a win over Stipe so that he could just retire. He said that he's not scared of anybody. I
He's
don't
not
see
fighting
Daniel
Ngannou.
Cormier. Fuck.
No,
No.
he doesn't want to. He
If-
wants to fight Stipe, get that belt, and retire.
Yes.
That's what he wants to do.
He
Retire,
he wants to leave like if he's Georges St. Pierre, and he's not. And you know, you have like if I was the heavyweight champion, I'd fucking and if Ngannou was next, I'd take off my fucking belt and be
Yes.
like,
Throw that
"Here,
shit at
bro.
him. Keep that shit. Don't get close to me.
Here.
Fuck that.
I am not fighting Ngannou for
I had-
nothing in the world.
Stipe already beat Ngannou though.
Yes, he did. Yeah, but Ngannou's only
Stipe
getting
already
better.
beat Ngannou. Like
That's what I want to
know.
see. I
I'd
want
be
to
out
see
too.
Ngannou. I want to see Ngannou and Stipe. Let's
That
see
was what, about a year ago?
No, it
a
was
year and a half.
A
Maybe.
year and a half?
20.
Yeah, because remember it was DC Stipe twice last year. So like 2018.
Sometime in 2018, I think.
Yeah, like late 2018. So no, I don't want to see that again, bro. Like I mean I do, but I'm good with Stipe retiring, bro. He hasn't let Ngannou be the champ. You know what I mean? Let the 2 old dogs or whatever retire.
It was
Stipe has a whole career ahead of him as a firefighter.
UFC 220. It was January 20th, 2018.
Yeah, so, yeah, little
Jesus.
shit. Almost 2.5
Yeah.
years ago.
I knew it was a while ago.
Damn.
Because
I did not know
Ngannou
that
wasn't. Ngannou's a
No.
lot better now than what he was.
He
So
sure is. Yeah.
Yes. Even more. He was terrifying then.
yes,
I can't. He's gotten anything any but better now. So no, you go ahead and retire. Like I don't want Stipe to lose his eye, bro. Like because he might not be able to be a firefighter after. I mean, his whole career could be threatened.
and he's not making that
I
much
would just
money.
hang it up, bro.
He's not making big dollars.
Yeah.
Big dollars. Like he's
Yeah,
not making.
now that he's
crazy
not making
bucks.
enough money to lose his eye.
Yeah,
No, so
I
he's
mean,
good with. The only way he get it if he's like a co-main. He's like a co-main with Conor or something, and he gets pay-per-view points.
Yeah.
Which is the only way he'd be able to get in.
Or if he gets in with, like, I feel like there's money guys. Obviously, you have Conor. Believe it or not, I feel
Khabib.
like Khabib is a money guy now too. But if John Jones moved up,
There it is.
I knew it. Here it is. Hey, hold on a second. Let me look at something. That's not part of our rundown. We're talking about McGregor tweets, top 5 90s R&B songs, gingers, beards,
all right.
stripper names, and pandemic. I don't see John Jones in there anywhere.
I'm saying
There's
this.
no John Jones dick sucking on the rundown.
Because I feel like, just like Conor, they're equal haters and lovers of John Jones. And I think a John Jones fight would get Stipe a lot of money. So whether he wins or loses, he could just fucking retire. That's a good chunk of change. A lot of people are going to pay to see John Jones win, and a lot of people are going to pay to see John Jones lose. I have heard what John Jones had said to Anthony Smith, and I thought it was a fucked up thing to say to him, and I think he's a dick for it. So I don't love John Jones. He that was fucked up. Like, I get the shit you said to Cormier because that was your beef, but to say what you said about Anthony Smith, you're a fucking asshole. Like, so
he is a fucking asshole.
He is. Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm on the bandwagon.
What we got next?
Oh, how badass of a fight that Michelle Watterson is.
That was a terrible fight.
That was terrible. It was a terrible decision.
He sucks.
Hey, by the way,
that was ridiculous.
Before we move on, you mentioned Cejudo. All we did was talk about the main event, but that Cejudo and Cruz fight. Did you watch the fight, right?
I thought for real. I feel for Dominic Cruz. I don't think that he should have been counted out. He was literally standing up, and I thought it was bullshit. And that's that Keith Richardson, I think is the name of the ref. I fucking hate that slime ball. Every time I see his face, like, oh, Jesus Christ. I hope somebody gets knocked out cold because this guy's an asshole. And I thought Dominic Cruz was doing good. Like, he was definitely doing better than when he fought Cody Garbrandt. I mean, he was doing good, and I thought he had a chance. And I know that the headbutt is what caused the cut over the eye, but he could have. I mean, hey man, that's fights sometimes. Donald Cerrone and Tony Ferguson, he blew his nose and ended the fight.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
shit happens, but I think. And now that Cejudo wanted this, because I don't think Cejudo would have said that he was going to retire if he would have lost. I think he would have got his belt back, and then did a DC and tried to retire with the belt. And I see that this is a trend. Everybody thinks they're Georges St. Pierre, but the only reason why Georges St. Pierre did it was because he wiped out the entire division multiple times and was like, I'm bored, I'm out.
Yeah.
And then came back and beat the shit out of Michael Bisping, got the belt, and then fucking left for real. Like that. That is some true champ shit. Not, I lost a couple of fights. Let me get this. Let me work my way back to the belt and then leave as champion. Like, abandoning your belt, I don't think you should be able to do. If you're the champion, you fight until somebody beats you.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You can't just quit the sport.
You can't quit.
You can't just be like someone that says, I'm retiring. I don't want to work at this fucking firm. I don't want to play football anymore. No, you gotta just. Someone has to beat the shit out of you and take the belt from you. You can't just walk away.
Lose it. Don't tell me that you go walk away. You're the champion of the world. You can't say that you're the best and then just leave high and dry. And it's not like something where, oh fuck, I don't want to say his name. All right.
Yeah, you do.
John Jones.
Yeah, you do.
John Jones.
There's.
How many?
We all knew who it was, right? I mean, it's John both.
Of course.
How long has John Jones been defending his title?
Which one?
Before or after
which title?
Before or after losing, killing people?
Yeah, way before that.
Who do you which title are we talking about? The undefeated hit and run, go back and get my weed title, or are we talking about the number 1 cokehead in Las Vegas title? I'm not sure which one we're talking about.
None of those. It's picograms of cocaine. Like to me.
He beat. I thought it was like UFC. Shogun. Whenever he beat Shogun.
He was like.
He's never really lost his title.
He's never lost his title in a fight. And to me, and let's take all the personal shit that John Jones did out. Let's say he was a normal fucking person and didn't fuck up. If John Jones now fought and won and said, "All right, guys, I'm done." Like, I get that. You put that many years of work in.
Yes.
Don't fucking be a Cejudo and fight one guy and fight 2 years later and then fight another guy and then fight a year and a half later, 2 years later, and then say, "Okay, I'm done." Like, you haven't fought nobody, bitch. You
Right.
defended your title like twice. So,
Actually, no, he didn't defend the title twice. He defended it once, but that was his first title defense because he won it when he beat Marlon Moraes for the vacated title from TJ Dillashaw.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that was his first ever title defense, and he was like, "Yo, I'm out, man." Like, I get what you're saying, but I understood his reason where he's like, "Yo, I've been in combat sports since I was 4. You know what I mean? We're wrestling, Olympic gold medalist, the lifetime of it, yeah, but also have at least one more title shot. Like, you know what, guys,
Yeah.
I'm fucking done." But
Yeah,
also, it could be negotiating. It could be negotiating tactics, though, right?
Yeah.
It could just be like, "Yo, man, I'm done until Dana pays me more money."
Yeah,
But
and
they're not
that's
gonna
part
pay
of
him
it.
more. He's
That's
a
part
no-name.
of it. He's not. He feels like, and I read it, and I think I even heard him talk about it during the fight or in post fight that he doesn't feel like he's gotten the money that he deserves.
And he's not going to. He's not going to because he's like Tyron Woodley. He's
Yeah,
like
he is.
he's like Tyron Woodley. He's like, as much as I hate to say it, Mighty Mouse. He's like, what's this guy who's had the fucking belt and then, oh shit, he's just not fun. Like, nobody likes him. Nobody fucking
Yeah. Hey,
likes
hey,
him.
if
Yeah.
you can't think of the name, just say John Jones. We know you want to say it.
John
Like,
Jones.
what's his name? John Jones. That's it.
John Jones. Nobody wants to see them fight. Nobody wants. Oh, Usman. Usman's lame as fuck. He beat Kobe Covington. Okay, fine. But I
Yeah.
never remember saying Kobe Covington was as good as. Kobe Covington came out, and he's the most hated person, and that's why people wanted Usman to win. Not because he's a badass fighter.
Yeah.
Hey, it was a good fight though. It
was-
was entertaining to watch. They were
I wanna-
going at it.
I don't even like Usman, and I wanted him to win. I just,
True.
I just, I don't.
That's true.
I think that the uncrowned kings are going to be Masvidal and Ngannou, and I think we're just wasting
Yeah.
time to get to that.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
All right, what we got next, Johnny boy?
We got.
How many times, dude? The fact that you said John Jones like 4 times annoys the shit out of me. Like, you cannot go a podcast. We could be talking about Disney movies. They'd be like, remember that time John Jones was about to be in Disney?
All right.
But then he
Listen,
out?
you know that meme where they got the wife and the husband laying in bed, and she's like, "I bet he's thinking about another woman," and this dude is like, "I wonder what John Jones is doing right now."
I'm just gonna lay this out there. You can hate the man all you want because he's a total personal fuck up, but nobody has done what John Jones has. Anderson Silva, my favorite fighter of all time. Georges St. Pierre, even at the end, he got a little boring.
To me, that's who I put up. I put up John Jones, Anderson Silva, and Georges St. Pierre. You can make them 1A, B, C, however you want. Those are Mount Rushmore, right?
Yeah.
And then you can start looking at like the other guys that
Dells.
have changed. And you know, if you want to talk about Mighty Mouse, but you know, and it's not to diminish that weight. Fuck, I weigh more than Mighty Mouse, but not to diminish the weight class, right? He's fighting 125s, 135s.
They're faster.
But they're faster, but people don't want to watch those guys. They want to watch the 157s and the 165, 67.
You want to see somebody who could get knocked out, and you don't really see a lot of knockouts in 125, 135.
No.
You're not going to see power hits and knocking someone out because you only weigh 125.
Well, that's why these fucking guys like Eric Morales in boxing, they had these fucking world wars when they fought each other. They can just hit the shit out of each other. No one's gonna get knocked out because they could just throw. But I mean, that's fun. But at the end of the day, I think people want to see knockouts.
I want to see Joanna and Zhang again. That's what I want to see.
I thought John. Well, yeah. Anyway, let's move on because if we, I almost fell into that trap of talking about Joanna because I thought she won that fight. But let's cut it right there.
So do I.
She did not win that fight.
Number one.
All right,
bullshit.
Benjamin. We're definitely moving on because you have the wrong answer here. So next on the slate, on the agenda, on the whatever other corporate word you want to use, top 5 90s R&B songs.
Anything that you see, I was gonna come up with answers, and I'm pretty much gonna say whatever Ben probably says. Cause, all right, fuck it, I'm going in first. Fuck it. Tank.
All right, let's do it.
Oh shit.
Tank. Maybe I deserve. Is it
I don't
deserve?
think Tank. I don't
Damn,
think Tank was
that's
9.
that
I
was
think
like
that was early
early
2000.
2000s. That song it was like 2001, I think, or two. Maybe I
I might.
deserve.
What I did. I'm not. I'm not. I don't want to say I'm cheating, right? I just want to make sure I got 90s so I googled
So he
what
googled.
the 90s songs were.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's my
Like
problem.
to go through it to be like, okay,
I was 13 years old, 14 years old in 1999. So the chances of me even being old enough to remember any of these songs, I mean, Half on a Baby with R. Kelly. Yeah, I fucking said it.
yeah,
Everything R. Kelly, right?
but
Because he either sang it or he
everything.
wrote that shit for somebody. That's
The,
what it is.
dude, R. Kelly. This is gonna be weird. R. Kelly. If I could turn back the hands of time, is the motherfucking shit, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
That song is the shit. Dude, like if you go down, I could. You know what? We
Bro,
could do a top five,
was this
whatever. But
2000?
I'm going through the song.
TP2.com?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 2000.
Yes, that's the first R&B album I ever heard in my entire
That
life
shit
that I
was
can
fire.
remember.
Every
'Cause
track. Come on.
Ben had it and he goes, "Listen to this." And I go, "I don't like R&B. I'm only like 13 years old." And he goes, "Shut your ass up and listen
And
to
listen
this
to
shit,
this
man." And I heard TP2.com and my whole like third eye came like,
Hey,
wow.
I want to say that. I want to say that. I in that sense, that's how Ben and I are like Callan and Schaub, right? Because I'm definitely Callan and he's definitely Brendan Schaub in that I birthed him. Because I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure I introduced him to TP2.com. I said, "Listen to this shit right here. It'll
probably
change your
No
life."
shit.
he did. He did.
You know
I
what? Listen,
I grew up
listen.
listening
He
to
did.
R&B.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you. I'm gonna
so
say this.
I don't like giving John any credit, but that's accurate.
I'm gonna say this live on the fucking podcast because I live to give John shit. I will never, ever, ever say anything negative about you again, ever in a million years. Because if you put
That's
him
a
on
lie. That's a
TP2.com,
lie.
you put me on TP2.com,
that's
and for
definitely a
that
lie.
I am forever grateful. You midget fuck.
You fucking patchwork of a beard, redhead, ginger piece of shit. I
Save
appreciate it.
that for the topic. Fuck,
Yo,
that was by far my favorite
dude,
R&B album
listen
of
to
all
this.
time.
Listen, listen to this crazy ass list. So I just listen. You got Pony. You
Damn, that's my
got
number
End of
one.
the Road. I'm skipping. Yeah, End of the Road is to me anything Boys to Men is like I could just put in one through five if we're being
Hmm.
honest. You got
Ooh,
fucking Waterfalls from TLC, No Diggity Blackstreet,
I got
Color
that.
Me Bad, I Want to Sex You Up, Remember the Time, Mike Jackson, Real Love, Mary J. Blige, That's the Way Love Goes, Janet Jackson, Just Kicking It, Escape. Like, yo,
That's
the
more than five,
boys,
right?
this takes me back to like power. No, I'm just saying, I'm just running through a list. I'm not running through my five. I'm just
Okay.
running off,
Yeah.
dude. Shy, If I Ever Fall in Love,
That shit right
The
there.
Boys. Let me see, Twisted, Keith Sweat. Come on, act like you wasn't doing. If I wasn't twisted over you. You got
oh,
damn Destiny's Child was in the '90s too. You got Candy Rain, So For Real. You got Creep, TLC, Knocking the Boots, H Town. Man, this could just go on.
you know
So
You
this
got
song.
Mary J. Blige. Not
yeah.
This song came out in
woo,
2000.
woo.
You got this song came out in 2000, but don't you remember "Separated" by Avant? Ben put me on
That
that
shit.
shit
I
too.
had that album. That shit was hot. Come on. Yeah. That
Kelly Rowland
I
was in
ran
that shit.
into a
around that time, Avant and Tank, right? Those they were dropped. Separate a few
Yes.
years later was fuck was
112.
yeah 112. Yeah.
Yeah, Jagged Edge.
112 was 90.
You know, if we're
112
gonna
was
go
112 was
over
90.
Waterfalls, Red Light Special with TLC, much better than
Yes,
Waterfalls.
Yeah.
I put Red Light Special over Waterfalls. Waterfalls was the bigger hit, but Red Light Special
Yeah,
was like
the
was that
song.
So
I mean,
I got five. I got five, and it's no particular order. And these could be my top five, and then there's someone's bottom five. That's how many songs were out there, and none of these have R. Kelly on them. None of
I
them
swear, if you say
because I could have.
SVU,
How about SWV?
oh yeah,
No,
SWV System with Voice, baby. System with Voice.
I gotta stay consistent. No, I had
Come on
Pony.
now, son.
I got Pony.
Okay.
I
Gotta
had
have that
Bump
one.
and
Gotta have
Grind.
that
Okay,
one.
so I lied. Bump and Grind.
ooh,
You did.
I
You literally just
got
lied. You lied.
no. Yeah, I lied. I had to. I had Bump and
Yeah.
Grind. I don't know. He might have
Yeah.
been bump. So the difference is that he was bumping and grinding with a 13-year-old, and I was too, but I was of age because I was 13. So I'm just saying. Allegedly. No, not
ugh,
allegedly. The
no, not
documentary I think
allegedly.
Allegedly.
proves
No, not
that he
allegedly.
was for sure doing
No,
it.
he did.
The king of R&B is a sick
100%.
fuck. That's
I still listen to his
Yeah.
music. I don't give a fuck. No
The
Diggity.
Pied Piper.
So that's number 3. I got Candy Rain
Okay.
from
Well,
Soul for Real,
So for real, yes.
and Babyface. When Can I See You?
ooh.
Oh, all
And
right.
and that
All right,
shit
son.
is. And they could be and the ones you name could be. It was such
No,
good
no,
R&B in the '90s, man. That
What
shit
was the name of that song
son. I
that it
got
would start off? Boop boop boop. Fuck.
I didn't even mention
And every time
no,
I
no,
saw
Shy. What?
Shy.
Shy.
Shy. Thank you.
Yeah,
Shy.
Yes.
If
we
I ever
just we
fall in
just
love,
said it. Yeah, if I ever
yeah.
fall in love, and I didn't mention that, and that could
That
be number
Dude,
1.
now look,
There's so much good music in the
I
'90s,
was
man.
just running. I was just running through those like as an overall to show you what the great music that we had in the '90s. Now, I'm gonna give you my 5 that I don't even think I mentioned in there. Right? I got. I want to hope this is right. I got Genuine, So Anxious. Right?
okay. Ooh,
I got
nice.
That's 2000, but we'll give it to you.
that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's 99 or 2000. If we're being
Yeah, it
honest,
could be. It's
I
yeah.
got. I got Boys to Men on Bended Knee.
Yes. Yes.
I'm bending knee with the shit. Boys to Men
Bend
on
the knee.
Bended Knee. Uh, go. I'm gonna go Tony Rich Project. Nobody knows.
Yeah, I know that.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's that shit, boy. I got John B, which was written by Babyface. I don't think it was a Babyface
Yes.
song. I can't remember the name. I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me.
Angel,
I'm trying to
John
pull it
B.
out.
You're my angel.
Angel
Right?
of Mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Angel. And then number 5, I'm gonna just go with any other Boys to Men song. Is that's my Boys to one? You know what? Boys to Men, Mariah Carey, One Sweet Day was 1999. Fuck out of here. That's it.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
my 5.
Boyz II Men was early '90s, and they started that. I think they started that whole wave. But
Yep.
I left them off
Oh
because
no,
I think
no.
they were too family friendly, and
You
not
wanted sex.
all the stuff that I was talking about, right? Like Bump and Grind and Pony and then you
I
got
never.
When Can I See You and Candy
Oh,
Rain. So
oh,
but yeah,
actually,
I was never a really big fan
no,
of
and
Bump and
Boys to
Grind.
Men. Boys to Men was put on by New Edition. New Edition is really what started that
but
whole thing.
New
You had
Edition was
the
what, like late '80s,
93,
'87.
yeah, but
94.
that they actually the guy who signed Boys to Men was from New Edition.
No,
Huh.
yeah, yeah.
Michael Bivins. So
You know,
I mean,
what
you
was
could just keep going down the list.
I know that it was not
I
in the
would put
90s.
you know what? I'll put Mary J. Blige, Not Gonna Cry, as my number 5. That
Alright.
was a fucking jam, boy.
I know-
Mary
I
J.
know-
Blige, Mary J. Blige in the 90s.
Yeah,
I know that it wasn't
Listen
a
to that shit
90s
on your
song,
Spotify.
yeah.
but if you listen, like Avant 4 Minutes was hands down one of the best R&B songs I had ever heard in my entire life. I felt that. Actually, I had a friend that he was cheating on his girlfriend, and she caught him.
Oh,
And I
Jesus.
told him, bro, dedicate that song to her. Tell her to hear it. The girl heard it, and she gave him a second chance. She wanted nothing to do with him. And Avant 4 Minutes gave that man a second chance. He fucked it up again, but hey, he got back. That's the power of Avant.
Of course he did.
You know what
the
I didn't
power-
even mention
There's no
was Donnell Jones,
Ooh,
Maxwell.
Oh,
And I think
wow.
Donnell Jones was like late '90s, early 2000s. He had a string of like 3 or 4 like albums that he dropped in a span of 3 or 4 years.
I was actually thinking of Maxwell.
Where I want
that's-
to be.
Yeah, where I
Where's
want to
This
be.
woman's work was the shit.
What?
Yeah, Maxwell. This woman's work is one of the greatest songs.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
Oh.
sing like that. That's way too high of a register for any human being.
Right.
I got 5 songs from Heidi because I text her since she's around your age. All right. Well, she didn't send me a fifth
Motherfucker,
one.
you're
I
2
think
years
she's.
younger.
I
You're
think
2 years younger than me, Steven. Stop making yourself sound so old. You fuck.
I'm no.
The
She
fuck outta
Heidi,
here.
not me. Heidi is like
No.
around that time. She's 38, so she would remember all those 90s songs. She's gonna go with John on this list with Bump and Grind from R. Kelly. She's gonna say This Little Game We Play by Subway. Don't know what that is.
I don't know what
Um,
that is either.
she's gonna do a Pony, Genuine, and she's gonna do Twisted by Keith Sweat. And
I already called that one.
oh, I missed it.
Twisted
She's-
was the shit.
She gave me 4. I don't know any of those fucking songs except for Bump and Grind. And
If you have Spotify, put in 90s R&B tomorrow and just let that bitch ride.
I know it's been a while. It's been a little while. It's been since
Yeah,
I've
you just
lived with
gotta
you.
Yeah, dude. I put a random. I think it was 90s. I want to say Tyrese, Sweet Lady.
Dude, that was 99.
Is that
That
90?
was for sure. Yep.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that was. I didn't know that
right
was the
on that.
90s.
Yep.
Yeah, it's right on the cusp. I want to say like Donnell Jones was in the 90s. Dude,
Late
was
90s, yeah.
Music Soul Child 90s?
Music,
Music
fucking
Soul Child was
music.
Oh,
I think music was,
Yeah.
I think 2000, 2001. He was that, him, like Eric Badu and music with that, like, neo soul sound. Fucking music was the shit, yeah.
okay, so I can't
Dude,
remember
there
the
was
name of
this.
this song, but he starts off. I can't. I'm not even gonna attempt to sing it. All I
You
remember is that
don't
the
try to
video
rap,
was
Yeah, it was
because that's what he
2000.
does.
no.
No,
There
it was
was
2000. It was 2000
there was a video, and I
for
want to
music.
say that it was Maxwell. I thought it was, but he was in the video without a shirt, and he was like all oiled up, like, and then he had like pants on, and that was it.
D'Angelo?
D'Angelo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Everybody knows that. I mean,
I only listened to DMX
Ah,
and
come
Bone
on, bro.
Thugs when I was that age. Chill.
fucking lie, son. I put you on to R&B. Come
I
on now.
know. And then something came out, East 1999, and I was like, this is the greatest album of all time. And to this day, Cleveland's own Bone Thugs and Harmony, to me, is still the best rap group of all time. Don't even
You put them on
fucking,
Wu-Tang?
don't even give me Migos. Don't even
No,
give me.
wait. Migos, come on. No,
Don't-
fuck that.
no,
We're talking
well,
about real rappers. We're not talking about.
They're actually having like the younger generation has said, and they've been coming out like over the last 9 months because Busy Bone was talking shit about Offset, and then he was like, "Oh, I got more money than you," and all this shit, and he was like, "That's not what this is about. This is about skill, and you don't have it." And so like it's a
Wow.
big thing. Like they actually beef with each other, Bone Thugs and Migos, and I'm like, this is so fucking crazy because Migos is like literal hot garbage.
Trash, for sure.
Like,
look,
it just-
you know what I
Yeah.
I put Javi's listening to Rap God, and my 11-year-old listening to Rap God and listening to what's that other song, like fucking rapping fast as fuck, is it Godzilla, whatever, Eminem and Juice World and shit.
Twista, Juice WRLD was okay.
And yeah,
Okay.
Juice WRLD was okay, but then I put him on to I said, listen to this, and he goes, what is it? I said, just listen to it, and it was Middle Child, J. Cole.
Yeah.
And he was and he was and it's not, it
bro.
doesn't sound like anything, it doesn't sound like this
Yeah.
new rap, right? Even though it's not an old, that shit, he dropped it last year. And I said, just listen
Best
to this,
concert.
and he goes, his eyes just fucking popped out. He's like, whoa. He's like, straight fire. I was like, thank you.
That's my
Thank
son.
you.
That was
Thank
the best
you.
concert I've ever been to. I went to his concert 3 years ago here in Atlanta. It was the
Yep.
best concert I had
You
ever
cried.
been to. I did. Actually, I have a
You made eye
video.
contact.
I have a video, and he made eye contact
Yes,
with
you do.
me. And
He made eye contact with you,
fangirled. I
and you
fangirled
threw your
because
panties at him.
Yeah.
I almost did, but Heidi stopped me. So it was my birthday, and Heidi has this misconception in this world that where I don't ever get anything I want because I'm always worried about my family, and to me that's not something that deserves an award or a reward or anything. It's
Right.
just I'm gonna do what I need to do for my family over myself 150 times.
Mhm.
So she knows J. Cole's like my favorite rapper, and she bought me floor seats. And
Damn.
obviously it's a stadium, so there's a lot of floor seats. It just so happened that he came out from next to me where I was. I was by the gate. And he was saying hi, he was walking, and I was like, Cole, kill this shit. And he looked at me and he was like, all right, man. And he went like that. And I just remember going, ugh. And everybody around me was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God. It was like I had seen Justin Timberlake and I was a preteen girl. I was so excited.
Hey, you know what that was? I think that was when he came out. You just went into this whole fucking like daydream, and you thought all this shit happened,
I got it on video.
but he never even walked by you.
I got it on video.
You gotta
I
know.
sent it to
He
everybody.
sent me that. He sent me that. He sent me that video. He's like, Ben, I just fucking cried. I
Yeah.
cried. Like he goes, I just rewatched the video and I cried again. He legit cried about that shit.
Dude,
Like
it was insane.
J. Cole is one of the best rappers,
And
100%.
For sure.
the only other celebrity I'd cry if I saw them in person and got to shake their hand, is a fighter, and
Yeah.
his
What's his name? What's his name?
not what you think.
Hey,
It's
Ben,
Anderson Silva.
you let me know. I will mute his mic and turn off the camera, and we'll just do the rest of the show without him.
No,
Just put a
it's
John
definitely
Jones
Anderson
picture up
Silva.
there.
Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva's that one guy that if I met in person, I'd probably cry to.
Hey, so since we're talking about crying gingers, did we hit up all the R&B songs?
Yes.
All
I
right.
think we
What?
did. I think we covered it.
Before we switch on to the topic, my wife just texted me and said, "Tell Ben he can invite me on his podcast anytime to discuss how Juvenile is a better rapper than DMX." I'm leaving her tonight, gentlemen. So
Oh my
um,
God. Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna
Did
start
she
doing.
just say that? Oh
I'm
shit.
gonna. He
Always
like,
does, doesn't she? She always does this. She
Hey,
yeah.
look, I
He
can't
likes.
it's
say
been
I
we've
don't know your
known
wife, and
He has horrible taste in music.
out of respect for your relationship, I will say that Juvenile had some club bangers and entertaining music. You know, back that ass up, and
Yep.
then he came back like 8 years later and shit and dropped something when I was stationed in Korea. I think maybe 2006 or seven, some 2005. I don't know. I don't even remember the name of the song. But another club banger.
Slow motion.
Uh, Slow motion. There you go. Slow motion. Yeah, and
It was a good song.
that's it.
Listen,
and
Juvenile.
that's it.
I root for Juvenile because I think Cash Money did him shit, but
Yeah.
I'm not comparing him to DMX in no fucking way. That's like
No way.
comparing. That's like
No,
no.
that's
It's
like
like
comparing
there's
Migos to Busy Boy.
yeah,
Shit.
exactly. You're fucking
No,
crazy.
no. I mean,
Uh,
Juvenile, he did his thing in the 90s, but it wasn't that,
It
you know.
wasn't game
as
changing.
long as long as long as Steven has been with Heidi, she's brought up this argument. And every time she does, it's a troll job, right? And
Yeah,
every
for
time she
sure,
says
right?
it, it makes me mad.
I thought she was
At
gonna.
no point,
Oh my!
at no point
I
has
think I need
Juvenile
more. Hold on. You guys keep
ever
talking. I
been
think I
better
need more
than
whiskey.
Oh, are you gonna?
DMX's first two albums. Three. I'll even give it to, and then there was X. Those first three albums, you could just let those fuck. And I'm not even talking about the Rough Rider compilations. Those
Your wife
first
is
three
driving me to
albums,
drink more. I'll
it's
be
dark.
back. That's terrible.
Fuck, I want some too.
It's dark and hell is hot. Fire.
Yes,
Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood.
Flood.
Fire.
You
What
made
are
me
we?
listen to that shit non-stop. Non-stop. You're like, you're gonna hear this
That
shit.
first of all, that was a very weird album cover because he was like covered in blood. Still
Yes.
not quite sure why that was because it was like probably pig's blood, so it's a little weird.
Probably
But
dog's
nah,
fight.
bro, get out of here. Tell your wife, and I'm sure she's listening. She's forever banned to be on my podcast. Just for that statement alone.
Tell
She
her to
can't
start
even
up a
like
woman
peer over
channel.
your shoulder.
Tell her
Yeah,
to
exactly.
go start the
Start up your
woman
own
channel.
podcast
0
and
subscribers,
figure it out.
0 listeners.
Exactly.
I can't
And I'll
even.
ban you from being on her podcast.
Yeah, she's such a fucking
Get
troll.
the fuck
She
out of
really
here.
is. She
Oh
really
my
is a
god,
troll.
she really is, bro. Oh
She
my
knows.
god,
She
Juvenile's
she.
better than DMX.
Jesus
Like, I'm
Christ.
not even. I don't even have a glass anymore. I'm just gonna drink from the bottle. I can't believe she said that shit. God damn.
14 years of saying it.
Yeah,
14
14
years
years
of
of
saying.
saying that same shit, bro.
And
My
this
That's
drink
is
love.
straight to the
That's
head.
love, man. That's love. I'm glad you have a real strong and supportive relationship right there. If you can still last 14 years and you hear that shit on a daily, I don't know if I would have been able to take it. I really wouldn't have.
I'm at my end.
I
I'm
might
at
have
my
walked out
wits
on my
end with
wife. I
this
would have
bullshit.
walked out on my wife and kids. Changed my identity. I was like, I'm not even paying child support. I can't deal with this shit. Juvenile's a better rapper than DMX.
I can't
What
pay
the
somebody who
fuck?
thinks this, and if they find me and send me to court and
I
be
can't
like,
even
"Your
claim
Honor,"
my kids anymore. I'm like, no, because they might think the same shit. I can't be associated with that kind of shit.
not with that kind of negativity. And
Hell no.
I bet you any kind of money if you go in front of a judge and you say, "Why is all this happening?" You say, "Because she said Juvenile was a better rapper than DMX."
I,
Judge would be like, "You're going
you're
to
right.
jail, ma'am, for 15 years."
Irreconcilable differences for your ass.
15 years,
You get full
gets sent,
custody and alimony.
and yeah, federal prison for 2 years for her.
for seeing that crazy shit. Fuck out of here.
What's our next
I
topic?
mean, I
I'm
think
mad now.
Yeah.
I mean,
So before we move into that topic, we start talking about rappers. Was that?
I said that gingers have no soul. I think that was the next one.
Close to it. Close to
Gingers
it.
get a bad rap.
But something that I mentioned to Ben regularly, which is I don't know if people noticed it or if anyone ever talked about this, but what the fuck happened to Hype Man? Like
They cost too much money.
Busta Rhymes has Flip Star, and then DMX and all the Rough Riders, and then what happened to Hype Man? That was the best job. I remember I thought, shit, if I could rap worth a damn or sing or do anything worth a damn, I'll fucking be a Hype Man and get 200 grand a year just to show up and be like, yeah, what?
I think rappers started to suck. So and it's crazy because if anybody born before, I don't know, born after 1992 hears this, they're just gonna say there were a bunch of fucking old heads. But I feel like rap has gotten so shit that now everybody who was the hype man, because realistically, hype man cannot rap like the rapper that he's hyping up.
No, that's his homeboy, and he brought him up with him.
True.
Exactly. So now you have fucking rappers like Lil Pump who probably put on their homies to be fucking rappers because they suck just as fucking bad. There's no fucking such thing as a hype man. They all suck equally. And I get a lot of shit for this since I am old. And I'm really not supposed to like anybody from this era, but XXXTentacion.
I like Lil Dicky.
When he Little Dicky's on a different level. Little Dicky is a god lyricist.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because
he's a savant.
If you think about it, and I was actually thinking about this the other day because that show Dave is really good, but it's a
brilliant show.
If you look at Little Dicky, he's not super famous. And then it made me think, is it because he's the white rapper? And then I thought, what other rappers are like mixed or white? And then I thought, well, J. Cole and Drake have white moms but look darker and are extremely successful. But then you have someone like Logic.
Logic
kills it.
Yeah.
Kills it. But he's white because he's half black, half white, and he looks white. He's not that fucking... He's not on the same level as somebody like Drake or J. Cole. And it's almost like what's accepting and what's not. But those four,
he's not on the same level as far as recognition or as far as having the talent and skill?
No. Well, if you want to talk about skill, Drake is definitely not as good as Lil Dicky or Logic. They could kill him. They kill him.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same page of what you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about like recognition and credit for being as good as you are.
Drake has, and this isn't like a defensive Drake, because I've never heard a Drake album, but it's unquestionable that Drake has whatever it. I never have, legit, never have.
Hey, Drake,
I've heard Drake, cuts of it.
You got to give him credit though, and I'm still calling bullshit for sure. You've heard him. He gave
I've never heard
rise to this wave of rappers, right? He's like the new the new era of rappers. Like it started with him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for better or worse or whatever, but
he's better than them.
But he's better than them, right?
They shit. Like I think the Baby in a couple of years is gonna be a top fucking rapper. The Baby makes good music. And it's funny because if you listen to The Baby and Lil Baby, Lil Baby's shit and The Baby is good. It's all that like mumble
what I was gonna say is
shit.
Drake has figured out the formula for hits, though. Is what I was gonna say. Is like
all his songs sound
like every Drake song and they do, right? And when you first hear them, like, yo, this song's trash. A week later, like, all right, the song's okay.
Okay.
2-3 weeks later, you know the entire song because you've heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't help like this left up, right foot slide. When I first heard it, I thought this is the stupidest song I ever heard.
What was the first one? Best I ever had.
I still don't like 2C Slide.
Best I ever had.
That was the first like big.
I don't like
10 years ago.
In a week, I guarantee you that's just gonna grow on you, and you're gonna know it. You know what I mean? Like he has a way of embedding himself into your fucking brain that you can't help it.
Yeah.
It's dude. Marvin's Room is the same shit. You got Marvin. There's most of the songs he puts out you don't like, at the beginning, but then it just grows on you, and it's
and then it
consistent.
becomes badass. But to me, most of his songs really just sound the same. It's the same.
No, they're the
formula
same
to
song.
all of it.
It's all about girls and it's all about girls and breakups and and a little bit of money here and traveling. It's all the same shit.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
he's
Lil
a fucking
Dicky is
travel
that
lifestyle
day-
blogger who became a rapper.
Pretty much. You're
Yeah,
not wrong on that.
yeah, dude. But Little Dicky is
A
incredible,
monster.
man.
A monster.
Yeah.
Dude, the fact that he wrote this entire show, like he wrote Dave.
Yeah.
Like he wrote that show, and have you seen his last
haven't
episode
seen that show.
was insane.
I haven't seen
Like,
the
dude,
last
yeah,
episode.
you don't watch his storytelling. Like the first 10 minutes is because you know how he does that. So he has that song Brain, where it's like 11 minutes, and he's telling a story like on a day after a girl. He just he tells it from like incredibly detailed. He does the same thing, but he allegedly goes to prison. Dude, it is, and it's everybody. And other people are doing his voices. Dude, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Lil
brilliant,
Dicky.
brilliant,
Lil Dicky's a
brilliant.
god. Little Dicky is probably like top 10 of all time.
All right, we're gonna have to cut it off here before you go into like John Jones territory.
John Jones's rapping career.
So we were talking shit. He read my mind, or maybe I read his because he's fucking always thinking about John Jones. We were talking about gingers.
I think we could count. Yeah, I think we could count that. Well, I was actually meant to cut you off. I think we could count that conversation we had about the gingers getting a bad rap, because or else we're gonna do 8 or 9 topics and we'll be here till fucking 2:00 in the morning.
I mean,
yeah, and besides, gingers do get a bad rap, but I'd rather shit on Steven's beard than talking about gingers getting a bad rap.
I'll make the gingers get a bad rap really fucking fast. What is it that makes somebody a ginger?
I mean, no, we don't have to have the conversation. Like, I've had enough. We've had enough podcasts. We've had you on the show enough to where like gingers don't get a bad rap. Like, if you're the representative, you're not getting drafted, right?
I'm definitely not. I have a brother who could be, but I am not that kind of ginger. I am just a lighter skinned with a redder-ish beard. Which, if you look at Ben's beard, there's mad red in that bitch. So who's to say he's not a
white,
ginger?
Sir.
I mean, I got a little bit of red in here too. Of course, also have white, but you know.
Dude, my dad is brown as a paper bag, and he has a red beard.
Your dad does have a red beard. Is that where you get it from?
Yep. Well, they all say that it came from Tia Itzel, how her whiteness transferred over and everything like that. That our great grandfather was from Spain, and he was that complexity with the blue eyes and the reddish hair and the light skin. I don't know.
So that's where you get the red. So where do you get the shitty beard from?
From yeah, no, my dad has the same holes. My dad has the exact same patches.
Yeah.
I didn't know that beards.
Mine is from my dad too.
But
does that correspond with like you missing pieces of your soul, and gingers not having a soul, so you don't have a complete beard?
Here's a crazy thing about this whole fucking beard thing, though. Since we're gonna get on this, and I feel like we can mash up the ginger and the beard all into one. But the thing about the beard is crazy shit. I can literally go to like, I don't know what they're called, but they're like hair restoration people who like put plugs in people's hairs and replaces their hair, and I can actually give myself a full beard by going to a doctor and changing it. There is not a single thing on God's green earth that can make you grow 2 more fucking inches. And that, sir, is way worse. That is way worse than having a shit beard. There is nothing unless you stood on a board and they stretched you like this.
Medieval torture.
No, I'm good, man.
Fucking SVU medieval.
That's what we're gonna go back to. SVU and being SVU, the height that I am. Got it.
Look who shows up. You are banned from the podcast for the rest of your life. You banned yourself talking about DMX and juvenile shit. Medieval.
Is that who showed up? No, she can't even make an appearance.
She's not allowed to. When you were gone, Ben said that she was not even allowed to come over my shoulder anymore.
That's terrible.
Not at all. Look over here. I mean, how dare she?
Okay. I'm gonna be on his show. I didn't hear what she said. I had the headphones on.
I heard it.
She said that she's trying to get the listeners up to 4. God damn, that's
Scumbag.
family, bro.
Scumbag.
It'd be the one, like the saying goes, it's the closest ones to. Exactly.
He said it'd be the closest ones that hurt you the most.
I mean, she married you, so she must have seen some redeeming qualities in you.
Something that I can't show you on this podcast. That's all I got.
Yeah, we'll get kicked off. I'll get kicked off of Facebook forever.
Yeah.
Don't show the other DS. Don't show the other DS quality.
Yes, that's the only thing anybody ever marries us for. That's all we got.
Exactly.
We're not smart, we're not rich, and we're definitely not handsome. Man.
Was that your calves?
Yeah, that's it. We'll go with that.
I will stand up on this chair and show you these calves right now.
No, I'm good.
You probably would.
You're probably gonna have some patchy hair, just like you have that fucking beard, patchy hair on your calves. No one wants to see that shit.
There's too much white. He does not get any sun.
I don't get any sun.
John,
I don't get any sun.
Yeah.
Look,
any sun, you'd burn. John, let's go into your pandemic shit. Oh my god, dude, look at how white that is.
Yeah, man.
You turned the light off and it's still
I'm like
white.
powder.
God, that was a crazy ass movie. Yeah. Crazy thing is that the same guy who acted as Powder was in Boondock Saints, bro.
No shit.
Was he?
Is he that white?
Yeah, the older brother. The older brother was the same guy who acted as Powder.
You know, there is a giant moth. There's a giant moth about this big right in front of me, and it looks like a leaf.
You're not gonna run away, are you?
Scared?
I mean, I know that's what you're known for, but it's just a moth.
We are.
I think it's a moth.
We are the storytellers. We are the one that writes. We are the ones that write the book.
Yes.
Not the ones that the books are written about.
No, thank you. I'll pass.
We'll be back in the village. We'll be back in the village with the men and with the women and the kids.
Absolutely.
Like, oh man, you heard what happened to Samson? You heard what happened to Samson? That was fucked up.
Hold on.
What is this?
Samson and Delilah have been fucking around again. He's gonna try to grab the moth.
Look at this son of a bitch.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, it's smiling at you.
That's crazy. All right, let it go, bro, before you kill it. Don't kill that. Moths are the.
Fuck! He flew right on the leaf behind me. God damn it! Now I gotta look behind my back all day.
All right, John. Let's talk about the pandemic shit, bro. That you were talking about with your wife.
All right, so I think we've all heard this in the news. Yeah, we heard it in the news, right, about the pandemic response team and how the Trump administration supposedly fired everyone at some point when he became president.
Jesus Christ, worst 4 years of my life.
So that's it's partly or mostly true, right? Like he didn't. I wouldn't say he fired everyone on the pandemic response team, and I think that's what it was called. But what happened was that most of those people were let go. Most of them were let go. A couple were reassigned within the NSC because the pandemic response team was part of the National Security Council, the NSC, and so most people left government or left their positions. And a few were stayed on. However, and this is where like Trump and his administration, they all get shit where people say they fired this pandemic response team. I mean, essentially they kind of did, right? They kept a couple people on, but the focus wasn't on being able to respond to these pandemics that's people's so-called black swan events, once in a lifetime events where we've kind of known that they were going to happen. Which is the reason why the Obama administration created the pandemic response team in the first place. Mm-hmm. To be they created a 160 or 165 page manual on how to be able to respond to these things and how to like take steps to when you see something like this. So I'll give credit to Trump where I won't say that he fired everyone. He did keep people on. It was part of a streamlining of like 3 different departments into really one department because a lot of their duties overlapped. Right. So I don't want to shit talk Trump, but the problem I have is the people that I see on my timeline or someone else's, my wife's timeline or other people's timelines that are military or former military, that and they speak the same rhetoric, which is, well, Obama had a shitty response to the swine flu. I'm like, that shit was in 2009 or I don't even remember. I think 2009 and 10. I'm like, yes. And then they created the pandemic response team in an
Yeah.
effort,
They did something about it.
right? And they did something about it. And I got it. You didn't fire everyone, but most of the people were let go, and then you only kept a few on, and then also
And then you reassigned them.
right. And then in China, that we went from like 47 to about 14 people before the coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak. Like we downsized. Uh, but the problem I have is with the people on the timelines where they say, well, um, but Trump we're 2020 now, so he's been president for 3.5 years almost now, and they blame everything on President Obama, and I'm thinking, and I hadn't even looked at it this way, but Mel says, well, think of it as when we were in the army, right? If you left a position, if you were the NCOIC, a first line supervisor or a director somewhere, and you left to another agency or another department, um, and you're gone 3 years later, like, is the person that took your job, are they blaming you for this shit? Or are they, like, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well-
Like, but people don't see it. Like, if you set up an SOP, a standard operating procedure, and then you leave and someone else takes over, then the new person isn't saying, oh, this person from 3 years ago fucking left a mess. No, they just fixed the shit. They don't
And
point
it's up
fingers
to
to
you
someone
to
from
follow
3 years
it.
ago.
That's all, to me, that's all Trump really spends a lot of his time doing, was just tearing down whatever Obama left behind. Like whatever legacy Obama did,
Right.
he has spent a lot of time just undoing it, just to appease his voters and to keep, his, what I like to call his Trumpers, that,
Right.
they asked, what's the message? Are you going to be with Melania? What's the message that you have for all the mothers out there? And he straight up just started talking about the military being the greatest
I
military.
saw that.
And it's like, I don't understand, and I'm genuinely confused about, after 3.5 years.
Also, I'm not
because I said it
voting,
when he first got elected. I go, you guys mark my words, you are gonna regret voting for this guy. I had no idea that in 3.5 years it was gonna be an army of people that support him, regardless of what he does, regardless of what he says. He's a fucking idiot. Like, he is an idiot. There is nothing that comes out of this man's mouth that makes any sense to me, ever. He's an ass. Like, he's a, what is it that's oh man, the guy from Closer Look called him. He called him a potato brain.
Seth Meyers.
Seth Meyers called him a potato brain. You can't think of anything better to call the guy, because he is literally just a fucking brain of potato.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go that far to insult our current sitting president of the United States of America, Commander in Chief, but
Commander and comiendo mierda.
very.
That's what he is.
But I will say that again, it just to the people that are in the military, like that I have conversations with that are either prior military or currently still serving, and they just spit out they regurgitate that same rhetoric, and I'm like, just think, put yourself in those shoes. Like, you're still active duty, like when you leave, like,
Imagine somebody
do you
blaming
expect
you
someone
3.5
blaming you? Or when you take something over, it's just like, oh, this was a mess, whatever. But then you just take the steps to fix it. 3 years down the road, you're not like that dude from 3 years ago that was here before me, who no one remembers. Like, that shit is fucking history.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, as it pertains to the pandemic response team, it makes no sense that they're blaming the Obama administration because
they got rid of it.
Because exactly. And I won't say they completely got rid of it. I mean, that team in itself doesn't exist. They just streamlined, quote unquote, 3 different departments into one. But, dude, like, at the end of the day, you can't keep placing blame on the administration or the group of people or the supervisor before you, especially if they had a shitty response to it possibly, but then they put a process in place and then your administration slowly kind of broke that process down and broke it apart, and now it's not a functioning one. You can't keep blaming them when you're the one.
I'd understand if it was still well. All right, so you got elected 2016, inaugurated 2017.
Yeah.
I understand if it's 2017 and there is no pandemic response team, and then we get the coronavirus, and you go, wow, the last administration really fucked us up because we didn't have anything set up in place for this. Then I'd be like,
right,
yo, you fucked up. But we're talking about almost 4 years later where you took measures to undo the work that they did regarding this.
Exactly. And maybe, and I get it. Look, not him personally, right? But his administration.
His administration cut
and they cut funding.
Lot of corners. They cut a lot of funding.
They cut funding, and that's why they call it streamlining as opposed to I try to fact check that story because I don't want to shit talk the administration or the president or whatever, even though I don't agree with everything that they do, but. Yeah, streamlining is the politically correct term, right? You took 3 departments into one because we have overlapping. But when you did that, you got rid of those specific people that had a focus on just pandemic response, and you kept a couple of people on board, but there was no focus on it.
We lost a lot of good departments.
So let me ask you guys something. Listen, there's obviously, I'll say this: there's an abundance of governmental agencies that overlap and do the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. But if you only have one agency or one team that does a specific thing, it's in my opinion, right? And this is because I'm not a quote unquote libertarian. Like I think you should have. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. You know what I mean? But then you also like John said already, like you can't have the team, disband the team, and then blame. Right. The general, you know what I mean, the general manager, the CEO, or however you want to, or the you know what I mean, the chief, whoever you want to put the CO, however you want to frame it, you know what I mean. You can't blame them from years ago because John and I have both been in the military, and we know like when a new CO takes over, they do a count of everything, they figure out what's best, what'll work, and then every CO changes it, right? Everyone does it, but then once that CO makes a change. They don't then blame, and something happens for, let's say you have to go out to the field or whatever. They don't then blame the previous CO because they fucked them, right? You know shit's gonna happen. You take accountability for it. Like, look, you know what? This was a bad choice. It was a bad mistake. You know, we're just gonna Charlie Mike it. We're gonna continue mission. We're gonna figure out a way to get better about this, and it won't happen again. There's been none of that from this administration, right? Like there's no accountability. That's my biggest issue, right? Like, look. This is a pandemic that we've never seen before. You can't be prepared for it. But Obama, right, because of the swine flu, had something in place. It might not have been perfect, right? It might not have been what Republicans or Trump agreed with, but there was a foundation there that you can improve upon. Disbanding it just solely based because Obama started it is childish and petty, and there's no accountability for it in the after fact, right? There's only blame. He's only ever passed blame. There's never been like, you know what, guys, dude, I would give him, and I'm the first guy to shit on him. I would give him tons of credit. It was like, you know what, man, I fucked up. Even if he's straight up cursed, because he has no problem cursing. You know what, man, I fucked up. I made a terrible mistake. I'm going forward. I'm gonna improve this. We're gonna put X, Y, and Z in place so this never happens again.
It would show. I would actually consider voting for him his next term. If he took accountability for the things that he messed up, if you owned up to the things that you messed up, he's never going to do it. And you know, like I've never been in the military, but I guess
78 years old.
I've never been in the military.
He's 78. So at no point you learn. 78. He's old as fuck. Like at 78, you're not going to learn a new way to view the world, right? Like he is who he is. He puts no accountability, and all he leaves is his followers to apologize. And what aboutisms and do all that shit to justify everything and anything he does. That's what frustrates me to the point where like it's just gotten exhausting. Like you see, like I don't even go on rants about it anymore. I did a solid 2 years, almost 3 of just ranting like, yo, this is stupid. Yeah. Like this doesn't make sense. And I just exhausted. I was like, dude, there's no hope. There's no dude. Like they find a way to turn everything into something else, and it's just like I can't even discuss anything with you guys anymore.
Because you're just going to blame it somewhere else.
He's like,
And
what is the actions of somebody 3 years ago have to do with what's happening now? When you've been in charge for those 3 years, because then what you're actually admitting is your incompetence to put something in place to handle a situation like this,
yep, you didn't
right?
even
Like if
think
you
about
thought
it.
what Obama was doing wrong, yeah, you didn't put anything in place to, like, dude, like, what he could have done is just completely renamed it and put, you know what I mean, and founded by Trump in 2018 or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean, and completely put his own spin on it, because
You
it's shit
see,
that politicians do, right?
yep.
And move it around and fucking 3 card Monty shit and done that. Come on, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I've never been in the military, but like the way I compare it to is if you go to the dealership, you buy a brand new car, they offer you gap insurance, you say no, I don't want that
Fuck
shit, and
that
then
gap
someone
insurance.
crashes into you, and then you blame the dealership. What?
Also, fuck
What?
gap
yeah,
insurance because usually you get gap insurance through like whoever. If you have a loan from your
you're
bank or
actually
your own insurance, you're already getting it anyway.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you got to
yeah,
check. So
State
that's
Farm does
why.
the same thing. If
it's
you
bullshit.
finance through State Farm, you get free gap insurance and you get a discount on your auto
So
policy.
that's why I
Like,
say fuck gap insurance from the dealership,
yeah.
because it's bullshit. But I get you. That's exactly that's a legit comparison.
I
But
mean,
that's
it's almost
the
it just
frustrating
doesn't
part
make
to
Yeah,
any.
me is. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was just gonna say it doesn't make any sense to me. None. It just doesn't sound logical. And
Mm-hmm.
then sometimes I doubt myself. I go, am I listening to this? And maybe I'm just slow and I don't
yep,
understand the way life
yep,
is because there's so many people who don't see it the way I see it. And I go, is there something wrong with me? Am I am I not
yeah,
making sense here? And then it's to turn you to sound
yeah,
crazy, and it's a big thing because if you think about all the things that were the funding that's been cut, we could go right back to the beginning when they cut funding for education, and then they put Betsy DeVos in place, and I go, this is
Woo.
the future. This is the future.
But
You cut funding to education, you're gonna dumb down this country. So
yeah.
in 20 years from now, people don't know how to think for themselves.
Well, Betsy DeVos, and I mean, a few weeks ago when we were having all these protests in Michigan and Ohio and all this, to reopen the economy, a lot of these, how they when you do background investigations, a lot of these groups, because it's not just random people, grassroots getting
Yeah.
together, and no, a lot of these people were found to
mm,
be supported and funded by groups that are funded
it,
by Betsy DeVos's husband.
Uh huh.
I don't know. I
yep,
forget the names, but essentially, these right wing, whatever. So,
Yeah.
which is strange. I'm like, why is he supporting these? Like, his wife is in
The
she's
education
holding the position
secretary.
she's holding. Why is he involved in supporting these protests? Like, you should be hands off. Like, some that stuff just seems like it's conflict of interest. If your wife is
Be-
holding the position she's holding, secretary or education secretary, like, but
because it
there
all
it
goes
is.
full
yeah,
circle.
Yeah.
It's Listen, we're poor, and our kids get shit education, while the people with the money get the good
mhm,
education.
Also,
So that the
educate
people.
college is a scam, but that's a different date, a different
Oh
conversation.
shit! I've never been. I went like
we're about to
once.
one day. What he means by once, he means one day,
Yeah, I
not
went
like
in.
one semester. He's like,
I sat down. I go, this is number one bullshit, and I left.
No, yeah, you and Khabib were in the same class. Did you go to
This is
Dakistan
number
and
one
start wrestling with
bullshit.
them?
This is number one
you
bullshit.
kill him, right? Like, number one bullshit. But yeah, dude, it's all bullshit. Like it's exhausting. Like I don't know, man. I honestly, like, a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, just not going on the political rants that I used to go on and having the back and forth. Because and it's funny because, like, now I see my friends that I was in the army with, you know what I mean, and friends that I'm not gonna say friends, just people I've known, right? Because they're not actual friends. I don't talk to them on the daily. It's just Facebook friends, social
Uh
media
huh.
associates, right?
Acquaintances.
They go on these rants,
Right.
yeah, that just go on these rants, and I'm like, God damn, that's annoying. I was like, I feel bad for all the people that saw me go on rants,
No,
and
you're.
I felt the same way you did, Steve. Like I felt the same way you did. Right? I was like, man, like, am I on an island with this shit? Like, this clearly doesn't make any sense. Like, he's counterfactual to all his own points, and he's just gonna roll with it. And people are just gonna be like, okay, well, that's just what it is, and we're just gonna side with him. And I'm just like, bro, but he just said in the same video that I just shared in 1 minute, he just said the opposite of what you're defending. So what are you defending? But that's not what he. I'm like, it just and now, again, like it took me years to learn that lesson. It took me years,
I'm
but
disappointed.
I learned it. I was like, you know
It's
what? Man,
difficult. It's difficult when you really understand that a Democrat, fuck you, a
No, I'm
Democrat
disappointed that
would
you stopped ranting.
a Democrat would vote
no, it's
for a
not-
Republican if they felt that the Democrat was wrong, but a Republican would never vote for a Democrat if they felt like the Republican was wrong. And
Absolutely.
that is the number one
Yeah.
issue. I would consider, like Mitt Romney, if he ran, I
I'd
would
vote
vote
for
for
him.
him over Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And I'm a Democrat,
100%.
and I'd vote for him. But you can never get a
Yep.
conservative to say that they would vote on the Democratic side no matter what. And that is dangerous because I don't follow a man for what he claims to follow, but who he is as a person.
Well,
Simple.
that makes them easy sinners, right? Because they have false gods, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way they defend this man is damn near worshiping,
Mhm.
right? It's the whole
Who's
world
playing
against
everybody.
this person. The whole like it's just like, dude, like what who are like my whole thing is like, this is the hill you want to die on, like this is the one. This
Yeah.
is the one you want to roll with.
Fuck, choose
Well, I'm
George
like,
Bush.
okay.
Shit.
All right,
At
cool.
least he's just a little slow.
Dude, if you ever, and
I
I'll
supported
always
Bush.
say this, right? Because
But I was in the army at the
you go
time. It was
back
good
and
for the
watch-
army.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I
it
mean, the
was very good
military is
for them.
important, but I mean, and that's another thing. Like a
Good
lot
for
of
my
people
bottom
hate-
line.
Go back. If you go back and watch, I mean, George Bush was the one that started the 9/11 GI Bill. You know what I mean? That was able to let me. Him in Congress was the one that able to afford me to go to college. If you go back and watch his speeches when he was the governor of Texas, he was brilliant, sir.
he has a very
President-
high IQ.
President dumb as shit could not fool me once. Was that because
Fool me
Jay
once,
Fool me can't,
shame
fool
on
me
you.
once,
Fool me
can't
twice, can't fool me again.
It wasn't. But you know what's
Is that the
crazy?
laugh?
What's crazy
Oh,
is that you
shit.
look back at that and you go, "Wow, we were we were much better off then than we are now."
Remember, we were thinking, we were like, it can't get worse than this shit.
And it did.
And then, yeah.
it is.
But
It
even
just
then, I
only gonna
supported
get
him.
worse,
I
right?
supported him, especially when Kerry ran. Like when on Bush's when he ran for his second time, I was like, yeah, fuck
John
Kerry.
Kerry.
Like we can't. There's no way you can switch presidents in the middle of. We just launched a war a year and a half ago. Like who would change presidents halfway into that shit? And we're gonna be in this for the long haul. So
Hey man, remember Obama almost had us out, and he never followed through. Out of the
Obama,
war.
look, by the way, Obama, and I have to go back at least when I was doing the research when I was stationed in Afghanistan, or I was deployed to Afghanistan, and I was doing the research for a master's program I was working on. Obama was the most effective and efficient administrator of the drone program. So say all you want about Democrats and liberals and all this shit, that motherfucker was getting it in. He was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
we see these dudes right here, let's blow them the fuck up."
Yep.
But people
And,
don't want to
you
talk,
know-
and I didn't agree with that because a lot of civilians that should have lost their lives, lost their
A lot of
lives
Americans,
because,
Yeah.
a lot of Americans lost their lives.
and I didn't
And
agree
you
with
know,
that shit.
A lot of
And-
Americans.
but yeah, a lot of them, and I
You hear a
disagree
lot
with
of
that shit.
people. You hear a lot of people say, if you ask somebody who's on the right side and you ask them why did you hate Obama so much, 95% of the time, or most of the people that I've ever asked, they say, "Oh, Obamacare." First off,
That's a
how
watered
you know
down.
you watch fucking Fox News, because it's called the Affordable Care Act.
Right.
Oh, it's not Obamacare. It's what you called it so you could slap his name on it. And nobody talks about CISPA. Nobody talks about him allowing the NSA to spy on us the way that they do.
He
And
did
I'm
all
like,
that
that's
shit.
a way bigger issue.
He went after
than
Snowden.
fucking Snowden, an
Yeah,
American
he went after
hero.
Snowden.
I think
An
so.
American hero.
Really?
An American hero.
Yeah.
And those are
and
reasons that I didn't.
And when they mentioned
things I didn't like about Obama.
when they mention Obamacare, they never give you more than one reason why. Oh well, he said if you like your doctor, you get to keep your doctor. Okay, did you ever read it? You know, look, I didn't. Me and John are well documented universal healthcare proponents, right? Like we rock with it. You know what I mean? Single payer. That's what I think it should be, because I think it's
Tractor,
bullshit that every deductible
I
and
don't.
my premium goes up
Do you want?
every single year.
You
My
want to know why
premium.
my wife is better than yours? You want to know why my wife is better than yours? I'm going to interrupt you right quick. Oh, Cinnabon, baby.
She must not love you if she's feeding you that at 11 o'clock at night. She wants you to get
I'm,
the. She wants to end your life right now.
I'm young,
She
John.
wants you to
Like
I am
right
grab
now.
young.
that diabetes.
You
That
know what I like about
diabetes.
your name? You know what I like about your name, John? Ah, forget it. Keep going.
You lost your
Forget it.
thoughts. You're like you're
Like
enjoying that sugar too much. Hey Ben, what the fuck happened to your camera, dude? You're like yellow and green right now.
You were yellow and green 30 minutes ago.
No, he's yellow and green
am I still
right
green?
now.
Because I
Nope, you look normal to
feel
me.
like I'm the Hulk.
Hulk smash.
Feel like I'm the Hulk, bitch. I'm good with that. You goddamn right.
You're back to normal.
I am not a
It's,
fan of
it's,
single payer.
No, look, listen. My oldest son just had 4 wisdom teeth removed.
Mm-hmm.
$2,900.
Mm-hmm. Dental is a big issue in this country.
Now we
My only
paid
problem,
700. We paid about 20%. The insurance covered the other 80.
my
But
my problem with single payer is this, and it's quite simple. It has nothing to do with the
actually,
caring of the people.
hold that thought. Hold
It's
that thought. My problem with single payer is you, motherfucker. 11 o'clock at night, you're eating a goddamn Cinnabon. I don't want to support that shit.
a cheese
My
ding.
taxes shouldn't be supporting that
It's a
bullshit
cheese
right
ding.
there.
you don't get to pick and
Everybody
choose.
knows it's a cheese.
You don't get to pick and choose.
Yeah, it's
My
hard enough.
issue with single payer is that you have to look at it in the way as if everybody's getting paid by Medicare or Medicaid, right? I've worked at a hospital. When somebody has Medicare and you get a twenty
The
thousand
payout is
dollar
different.
surgery, Medicare Medicaid is going to pay $1,200. Now I get it. They inflate
Yep.
the cost of things that it costs at the hospital,
Hmm.
but you have to look at it. They have an actual structure. They have lighting. They have generators. They have research. They have doctors, nurses, pharmacy techs. You have people who clean, the janitors who clean. Like a hospital
Plus,
doesn't profit as much as most people think, and I think by doing single payer, you're gonna leave a lot of nurses. You're gonna leave a lot of doctors. You're gonna leave a lot of jobs making less money because there's nowhere else to get it from, unless they kept similar salaries and it was paid by the government, but then that just goes from us paying it to
Us paying it.
to the government paying for it. Boss
Which means we pay it.
to
If
us
the
paying
government
it.
is paying for something, we pay for something because the government pays through taxes. That
Yeah.
the government pays for shit through the taxes they collect from us. So we still end up paying for it. Hey, you're
I
kidding your
love
husband
girl.
right now. I know what you're doing. You don't love him, do you? I thought you did until you gave him that shit at 11 o'clock at night. You're trying to give him a diabetic
Just,
coma,
hey man, wipe your face.
and I support you,
Wipe
Heidi.
your face. Son. Yeah.
Ginger
Slow.
beards
She's
matter.
playing the long game, bro.
Ginger beards matter.
Heidi's playing the long game. So the thing I'll say this about, we don't have to go do this. This could be a whole different podcast and separate, right? The thing I'll counterpoint with your single payer, which I don't disagree with, is that also hospitals charge different prices. Insurance companies charge the hospitals different prices for the same procedure.
Yeah.
Where
Yes.
insurance A could be $37,000 for a hip replacement, while insurance B can be 45,000. You know what I'm saying?
They'll
Like,
usually
and there's
charge
things
more.
like that where
They'll usually
Yeah,
charge more
that's
for
where
Medicare
my
Medicaid
issue.
patients because they need to make more off of there because it's really not paying anything. Now, you also have to take into account,
Right.
like when I worked at the hospital, I think we gave $18 million in charity or write-offs because there's over about $100 million in a hospital that I can remember of patients that just don't have any money, they don't have any insurance, and
Mhm.
you would think, yeah, the hospital, it's better for them to get $1,000 than nothing at all. But in reality, you can't close those things out because you're making negative revenue. This is why you go to a hospital and an Advil costs $50 because the hospital is trying to recoup off of people who have good insurance versus the people who have nothing. So you would think that single
Right.
payer would cover that, but then you have salaries, which is really important. I don't know any, like, working at the hospital, I knew that the CEO of the hospital was super rich, but the board of directors are making like $300,000 a year, which is good money. But if you really think about it,
Right.
nobody is really making that much money already. So if you single payer it, we got to figure out a way to get these people paid, because it's kind of like what we did to our teachers. We fucked our teachers over, man. We really did. Like, our teachers should be clearing easy $50,000-$60,000 a year. You're educating the future. So when we focus so much on cutting costs in education, like what we've been doing for the last 3 years, you shit on the people who are really important, such as our healthcare providers, our teachers, our emergency services. Like, these are real jobs that need to be protected, and I don't feel like any of them are.
So I know that's not one of the topics, but kindergarten through like 6th grade teachers, I get that they have a vital role. To me, their role is more of a babysitter to my kids. But I've been in a different situation, because even though I was separated from my kids, my wife and I, and then we deployed and we weren't living together. And sometimes I stay with the kids, sometimes she stay with the kids. Like, what you learn from
How many kids
kindergarten,
do you have?
2. What you learn from a college sophomore and a 6th grader. What you learn from that age up until like 6th grade. Because next year he's taking algebra. So and even this year, some of them, oh no, this year I can teach him. I can teach him algebra too, but whatever. The point is, elementary school, like, dude, you're babysitting kids. I'm serious.
But it shouldn't be like that.
If you're in a house, if you're in a household, and not everyone has this, because I'm coming from a place of privilege, and I acknowledge it. We've been fortunate that we and even if we've been deployed or whatever, like, I take the time to teach my kids. But I don't have 2 jobs. Some people do have 2 jobs. A lot of people are in single parent households that have 2 jobs. They don't see their fucking kids. Shit, the only time kids eat is when they go to school. They have to be going to school to get the damn meals. I know that reality. Shit, I was on free lunch my entire time I was in school. So I know what that is.
Gang.
And
free
now,
lunch gang.
Free lunch.
But even like, if you as a
the
parent are
issue
able
is
to
that-
teach your
and I-
kids, you have to teach your kids at home.
Hold on.
Not everyone has that opportunity, but you really have to teach your kids something at home, because what they're learning from kindergarten through 5th grade, really, you're just socializing them. Like, I get it, they're learning basic math and English, but they're learning social skills to be around other kids. But like, really learning, you're learning that's at home. A lot of the stuff
I
is
know
at
of
home.
teachers that are getting paid $29,000 a year, but what I hear a lot from teachers,
But that is
and I
bullshit.
wish
29 grand.
I wish that we had Chris on here.
That's minimum wage.
Yeah, I wish we had Chris on here because he can elaborate better. But from what I've heard, they have to follow a structure by the state. They cannot derive and teach children anything of any real importance that's not allowed by the state. And I think that's where we're fucking up, where you're limiting children, and the school system hasn't changed in 200 years or something. We really need to change the way we teach children.
The school system was set up for the Industrial Revolution to teach people to work in a factory. Like, that's what it was.
And then we're learning we're learning skills. Like, if the factory is waiting for us because we have no real skills, and there's no fucking factories.
No, they're in China.
It's trouble,
Learn
man. If I was president, I'd be elected on Friday and assassinated on Saturday and buried on a Sunday. I swear it to God, bro.
And I wouldn't be at that funeral because you're a fucking ginger.
Yes, you would. You'd be crying because you'd be pissed off that you had nobody to argue with except this.
You know what? I'd be crying because if your wife was left alive, I'm like, God damn, his legacy is that she's a juvenile fan and she thinks he's better than DMX. Yeah, you're right. I might be crying.
And then your kids will be juvenile fans. Oh my God.
My kids are fans. Couple things that my kids love: Queen,
Great.
the Beatles. Oh man, Rush, Red Hot Chili Peppers, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Biggie, Tiesto, Armin van Buuren.
Yeah, my kids were into EDM. Yeah.
Bad Bunny, because that's my shit.
Bad Bunny, because for sure. Yeah.
What else on the list? You gotta put them onto Setch, bro. You gotta put them onto the Panama.
You gotta put them onto Setch, man. That Panamanian shit.
Setch has a song with Bad Bunny.
General.
He started it. He was the old school, but Setch is the new school, and he's carrying that flag, that torch.
SETCH.
SECH.
No, SECH.
SECH.
I'm about to put you on it right now.
Es en
with
español,
with bet.
huevón. Sech. Lo tienes que
Sech.
pronunciar en español.
Listen,
Ignorantes. Oh, that's it.
yeah, I'm about to bring
Sí,
that back though.
ignorantes. I know the whole song.
Yeah, that's Sech, bro.
Oh, shit.
Yep,
Ese es, papá.
ese,
Pero tú
ese mismo.
supiste menos. Listen to this redhead sing in Spanish.
I'm gonna point
Ah.
at you. Ignorance.
Where is it? Let me hear it.
Yeah, bro. You gotta listen to Sech, bro. Sech
Sech
has
is
a
the
song
shit.
with every huge artist you know.
Yeah.
Sech is the shit, bro.
I'm downloading all
Again,
his
I
shit.
give it to John. I feel bad right now because I'm giving it to
You feel
John again.
bad?
He was the one that put me on the. Yeah, because I don't like giving you this many compliments, bro. I've known you for 25 years, but I don't care.
Fuck, John. TP2.com. Bro, homie,
Bro.
hold on. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
That's how my child was born. Shit. I
Okay.
promise you, R. Kelly was my favorite of all time, and it all started when Ben put TP2.com in my CD player, and I had a 9-second skip on it.
The 9 second skip? Shit.
That was just bullshit. That shit skipped
It was not.
immediately.
I think that's all I could afford. I couldn't
This
afford the
shit.
40 second skip.
I had to walk to school like this. Bro, catch me delivering pizzas now, bro, because I held that CD player like, oh.
Oh, ah.
Hey, John, what else was on the rundown, bro? I think we cover it all.
We got one more thing. Uh, I think this is
What
the
we
one
got
I
left?
did the most research on. We got I'm gonna put it up here so you guys can see it. Everyone else can see it. But we got top 5 stripper names.
Oh,
Oh! I'm going to go with number one of
it's a
all
good one.
number one stripper names. Candy.
Candy with wait, how?
Can,
How do you spell candy?
It's the only
Candy
way
with
you
an I.
can.
Candy with an I. Candy with an I.
Candi.
Yeah,
Candy with
Candy
an
with an
I.
I.
Not candy with a
100%.
K?
Oh.
Oh no.
No. It
Oh
depends on where you're
No,
at.
if it was Candy. We're about to have a debate. It was Candy with a K, then it was Kandy.
right.
But if it was Candy with a C, it ended with an I. And usually, if it was Candy with a K, let's be 100% honest, it was a black girl.
Yo, there we go. I
Sorry,
was about to say the King of Diamonds.
For sure. For sure.
is it
Absolutely.
King of Diamonds?
King of Diamonds.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean 100%. What's another one? What's another stripper name? Top 5 stripper names. John, you
You know
said
what?
something that every stripper you ever met was named April.
Listen, I said something. I said, first of all, don't be throwing that shit out there like I'm meeting strippers and shit. My wife is watching the show and she can hear me. No, I said if your daughter is named April, let's be real. She's gonna grow up to be a stripper. All right. Not my fault, dude. I don't make the rules. That's just what it is. Oh shit. Are we? Let's. Did I lose both of you? You guys got too excited talking about strippers? God damn. Yep. All right. We'll be right back. Hold on a second. Jesus. Like somebody doesn't want us talking about strippers is what it is. All right, guys. We're going to be back in a couple minutes. We're having some technical difficulties, but give us a few moments and we're going to get the show back. So, Steven and Ben fell off the podcast. It was only a matter of time. Bro, I thought you guys got too excited with stripper names, and then you guys just fell off the chat. Hold on. No, I'm good. I was good. I'm still live. Both of you were gone. Hold on. I don't hear an echo. So let me see. Oh, the fortunate part is that you guys, I don't have to resize any of this shit, so I just have to make everything visible, make your audio. Hold on a second.
I gotta tell that Jason.
Yep. We laughed. We laughed hard, and
Yeah, we laughed. Yeah, we laughed.
no, we thought that you took off because your wife heard you talking about strippers, and you heard the footsteps and got scared and turned off your computer. That's the story.
That's exactly what we thought. We had a whole story.
I got Cinnabons, bro. I'm good.
You got to remember, Steven, if you didn't, real quick, I got to catch Steven up with something. Steven, if you weren't part of the last podcast, John said that he actually has to maintain himself at a certain weight and keep that face as pretty as possible, or his wife's going to leave him.
I believe it.
So
we're all in the same boat. I believe it.
That's how strong his marriage is.
It's fragile.
But we were talking about Steven was telling the story about how he was at a strip club in Hialeah. You want to tell that story again, Steve?
I'll never forget her name. I'll never forget her name. And I remember because I asked her, "What's your name?" And she said, Nautica. And Nautica. And I'll never forget because she lit up a match, right? And she opened up. I'm a just try to keep this as PG-13 as possible. She put it down there, like about 2 feet away from her, covered her mouth, and blew out the candle with her other lips. And I said, "Oh shit! Oh shit! I've never seen anything like that." So I'm gonna put her on the top 5 stripper names just because that was impressive. And if she ever hears this, yo, shout out to you, you crazy bitch.
Yeah, so I got any of the seasons as number 2 on the stripper list.
Oh yes.
Autumn, summer, winter, and spring would be on that list. This is a random. That's if you went to like a white strip club. They dressed a little like I went to I think it was a strip club in Broward, named like Solid Gold or some shit. I went there with my boy. Went there with Trent once, and I was like, dude, this is way too nice because all the strippers were wearing like actual dresses. I was like, this is weird.
Just like Rachel's in Orlando.
They want to like actually talk. Yeah, it's not a good look. It's awkward. Let me see. I got all the seasons. Candy, I think we talked about it. Candy with a K.
Candy with a K.
For some reason, every Asian stripper was some derivative of a menu. I think there was like
an egg roll.
It was like Hong Kong.
Mugu Gai Pan.
Wonton soup. Mugu Gai Pan. For some reason, Generalita So.
General Chow.
General Chow Chow. Well, yeah, dude. I was telling Steven about a funny strip story. We're at Tootsie's, right? Me and my boy Jay, and there's a stripper with a huge ass, right? And she's walking around. It's the first time I'd ever seen it. She was walking around with like a box. Imagine, where they put like 2 12-packs, like the box of a Heineken, right, with full of money. And she gets in front of him. She's dancing. She's coming off stage, and she makes her ass clap in front of him. And from the wind of her ass, like he looks at me, he goes, "Bruh, I'm crying," and a single tear down his right eye was dripping down. And he's like, "Look!" First of all, and he's incredibly black. It's a very different club, but you can see the tear because it had the glitter from the stripper's booty cheeks on his eye, and it was just glistening down his face. I never laughed so hard in my life, man.
Shout out to Jay, bro. Shout out to Jay.
I was like, yo, why one tier, bro? Why one tier?
Shout out to Jay for being one of the funniest dudes around.
Oh man, that motherfucker was the shit. John, you did research on this. What do you got for your top 5 stripper names? Let's see what you got.
I got Amethyst.
Oh, never. Every time I hear shit like that, I'm like, here I go again on my own.
Hey, look, if you name your daughter
my
after a
own.
fucking crystal, she deserves to be a stripper.
Crystal.
Yeah,
Crystal's a stripper name. Crystal's a stripper name.
With a
Yeah.
K.
Crystal's is a stripper name and a regular name. So if you name your daughter Crystal, look, again, I don't make the rules. All I'm saying is stop putting money in that 529 college savings plan and just go buy yourself that fucking like drop top, right? Go buy yourself that motorcycle. Go buy yourself whatever the fuck it is you want to buy you, because she's not going to college. She's going to be paying for college on that pole. If you name your daughter Crystal, that's her future. I didn't make the rules. Look,
quick,
there's a government agency for that, and fortunately, this federal agency, they did the smart thing. They said we're going to let the states decide what we're going to do with these stripper names, and so different states have different sets of rules. Florida, you know, if your daughter's named Tiffany and April and Crystal, like, they don't even let you start 529 plans.
Shit,
They don't-
Scarlet.
Scarlet. Look, not only is Scarlet going to be a stripper, but she's fucking all the football players, right? Her sophomore and junior year, for sure, 100%, right?
Angel. Angel.
If your stripper name is Amethyst, you for sure came out on stage to Journey, right? Like for sure. Like that's
Maybe
that's your
Styx?
stripper song. Like
Tiffany.
what'd you say, Sting?
I said Sticks.
Sticks.
Oh yeah,
Damn.
Sticks. You might come out some pour some sugar on me. Coming out to that for sure.
With
Yeah.
that shit
Let me see,
face and not
top-
even moving.
Yeah, exactly. Just top 100 stripper names is something I'm googling right now.
I bet you $5 Crystal's on that shit.
I
45 most popular stripper names. Why do they have stripper names next to baby names? Amber's one. Tiffany. Lola. I've never met her. Ginger.
That's my dog's name.
Huh?
Ginger.
Ginger.
That would be mine.
Candy.
There we
Yo,
go.
shout out to Charity being a stripper name. Charity.
Charity.
All right.
Soleil.
Anastasia. Katie. So,
Phoenix.
let's see, Destiny. Devon.
What's the number
Chastity.
one on the list?
Fuck out of here, bro. Number 1 is Crystal.
Oh,
Number 1 is Crystal on the list.
Spelled how?
Number 1 is 100% Crystal with a C. Crystal.
Yep. It beat Candy, but shit.
That's accurate. I thought it would be Candy with a K, if we're being honest.
I said Candy with a C and the end with an I.
How about a nod to a religious stripper, Genesis?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I knew a Genesis in high school.
The first book.
We
The first book of the Old
went to
Testament.
went to school with a lot of Cubans.
That's right.
We went to school with a lot of potential strippers.
No, potential. Fuck, they were stripping like right after class, right?
They were stripping as seniors, bro. There was a couple of strippers at BT's and
Pussy
fucking
Cat?
what Centro Español.
Whoa!
No, Centro Español in
Ever
Hialeah.
tell you the Centro Español
Yeah.
story?
No.
My homeboy.
What you got?
My homeboy's there, right? And he's sitting
Don't say his name.
He's sitting there with Heineken on the table, and you remember the patio in the back had like those white plastic patio tables, those real cheap ones. And so he's
Right.
sitting there, and he
Yep.
has the Heineken on the table, and the stripper starts dancing. Mind you, she's like 60 with a giant C-section scar, and she grabs she grabs his Heineken, pours some in her hand, and puts it down there and goes, "Smells like fish." I swear to you, that's a true story. Never went back again.
No, never. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
You just can't make shit like that up.
You really, really, really can't, bro. You really can't make shit like that up.
Oh,
God
Jesus.
damn.
I'm so
Let me see.
glad
I'm
that
trying to
place
think
is
of.
gone.
Oh, dude, yeah, it has to be. I don't even know how it opened. That was 100% the dirtiest trip I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, and I've been to some dirts.
That broke every. Oh my god. Yeah, that place was disgusting.
What was that
I
place
just.
on
What else we got? John?
Okeechobee?
Pink Pussycat.
Was it Big Pussy?
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
It was,
That shit was like what? Like
Pink Pussycat.
400 square feet?
Yeah, it was tiny. It only had one stage for you to get stabbed by. It was as small as like BT's in South Miami, which was in between two buildings.
Yeah, I thought Pink Pony was smaller than Pink Pussycat.
No, Pink Pony was in like 36th Street, and it was a pretty solid size. It had a second floor. Not that I'd know, but
But from what you've heard,
what I've heard.
when you drove
From what-
by.
From the, from the pictures on Yelp. From the pictures on the Yelp review.
Yeah, they had Yelp back then? Okay.
Hey, listen. Hey, this is a story. We're all married. That's the story we're telling. That's the story we're telling right there.
Yeah, it was
Man,
Yelp.
Steven probably go to the trip with his wife.
She was with me when I went there.
Yeah, exactly.
We used to go to
Hey, man, I got
BT's,
nothing else, man.
Hotties off the Palmetto.
Yeah.
Which one?
Hotties.
Never went.
They changed it to BT's, but it was Hotties on the Palmetto. Like right before, like it's like in the Doral-ish.
Yes, that's
and it had
a
like
BT.
and it used to be called
Yeah.
Hotties. It used to be called Hotties because on the left it was where the chicks were, and then they had some other name for the guys on the right side. And I remember because I sent my
Yeah,
brother.
that's
I sent my brother to the right side, and I go, "That's where they have the good chicks at. Here, take $40."
What an asshole.
It just dicks everywhere.
He came
Just
back
gay
quick,
dudes everywhere,
mad as
wrapped
fuck.
in body oil, wrapped in baby oil. Yeah,
He was mad.
that's the place we would go to the most was at BT's.
Yeah, I think I've
Back
been with
when
you there
it
before.
was me, Jay. Yeah, we've hit it up. Yeah, you've met us there before. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that was a good spot to just like chill at, bro. Like it wasn't always it was always just a good time to talk shit with the boys.
And I think I went one time with you to
Like
the
$40
South
a
Miami one. The BT's in
Yes,
South Miami.
yeah, for sure.
Because there was a guy hitting the
yeah.
stage there, and I think you were there with me. And he was hitting the stage, and the girl wouldn't go by him; she would stay by us. From what the Yelp review said, or whatever.
Yeah. The Yelp
The Yelp
review said
review.
that she would stay by the redhead, by the fucking ginger.
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
story. It was a nice
Yeah,
review.
The story on Yelp was that she had an affinity towards redheads, so that's just what it was.
And
Oh.
she passed up on the guy
You know,
with all
what's
the
the
money
story if I use the word like
for the guy with 60
like dude, he had
bucks.
stacks. He had like
this.
he had like
he kept
money
hitting
like
the
this.
stage.
And
And she
we
stayed
were
with
so
me.
broke at that time. We were sharing money.
Yes, I'm
we
like,
had
"Here,
like
take
$40.
We were fucking throwing quarters or
Each other.
shit.
I would lean against the stage like this, and with my pinky, I would slide a couple dollars or something. And let them hit the floor and wait till the next girl comes out to go pick them up.
Wait, did they serve breakfast? Did they have a good buffet?
I wish I would have eaten there. You know what? Fuck. Big T. Shout out to Tootsie's for having the best cheeseburger
Chicken
I've
wings.
ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, they had one of some. I had chicken wings at Tootsie's. Delicious, bro.
yes.
Top three to five wings I've ever had.
Like that.
Delicious
that
wings.
Tootsie's wings and burgers would really consider like making me think which one's better between Tootsie's and Flanagan's. Like that says a lot.
Yes. Yeah, legit, bro. Legit. Those wings were good.
Oh, shit.
Those wings and breasts were fantastic.
Yeah,
Those
I
wings
bet.
From the Yelp reviews, it's all
According
over
to
the place.
according
5-star
to the
Yelp reviews.
According 5-star Yelp reviews. No, 4.8. You don't want to give them too much.
Yeah, you don't
No,
want them to think they're
4.8
all
is-
bad and shit.
Yeah, exactly. You want to make them work for it a little bit.
What stand-up comedian?
So
would
John
say
Jones,
that? I don't want you thinking
John
you're all
Jones was,
bad
was
and
talking
shit.
about on the podcast.
John Jones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Have you seen Steven, have you seen Chris D'Elia stand up?
No, I saw
On
it and I
Netflix?
marked it, so I will this week.
You gotta watch it, bro.
How
Fucking
about
hilarious.
Handmaids? Has
And hit us
anybody
up
gotten
when
into Handmaids?
No, still no. Still have not gone into the third season. It's on the list though. Huge
It'll
list.
cha- we'll get there. It was an absolute pleasure, John.
Don't
As always, sir, an
say it'll change your
absolute
life.
pleasure.
Don't say that.
Handmaids.
Don't say it'll
Maybe
change your
one
life.
day.
I heard what you were about to
God.
say. Handmaids.
From the Yelp
You were
reviews, The
about to say it'll
Handmaid's
change.
Tale.
According to Yelp, The Handmaid's Tale is good.
Yes. Yes.
I see what you were saying.
No, I was just thanking you guys for putting me on this podcast. John, thank you for the TP2 one more time. I'm gonna stick true to my word, and I'm not gonna fuck with you at the end of this. I thank you. You indirectly put me on to the future of many sessions. So I guess you could say that you taught me what I know today.
Taught you how to be a man.
Indirectly.
I'll take credit for it.
And he also, John, thank you for putting me on to Setch. I won't shit on you also at the end of this podcast, and this will probably be the only podcast where I'm respectful to you at the end of the show. So let's just bask in this moment, and
Yes, enjoy
thank you
it.
for putting me on. And also TP2.com. Just take it. God, you make
Hit
it
it
really
hard from the
You make
back.
it really hard to be nice.
Roll around on the floor.
God
that
damn,
piano,
that's some good tracks.
I had like 4 songs that started out with that same piano. I Don't Mean It was the shit, son.
I don't mean it.
Oh,
And you know
And then when you got to like, was it track 16? I don't mean it. Like the follow up to it.
yeah, exactly.
And then you had
Exactly.
the I
Oh,
Wish
my God.
remix.
Yeah. Oh shit, the I
Oh,
Wish
yes.
remix. The one that
And
wasn't
then-
a club
I'm
banger.
about to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had
Yeah.
something about looking up at a fan.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know what? You know what, John? Hold on. Before we get off this podcast.
I got Apple Music, so it's not like hey, we're not monetizing right now, so we can play all this shit.
Yeah. Hold
Yeah.
on.
You're not gonna get copyrighted.
All you gotta write is TP and it comes up. All right, I'm gonna show you something. Oh, you wanna know? You wanna know what my wedding song was, John?
Is that if I could explain? Yeah.
That was there.
That was it.
That was
That's
my
all
wedding
was-
That was
song.
one of his groomsmen.
That was my wedding song. So
Feeling. Oh. Yo,
That
this was my shit. I got.
I don't even know
one
if
for
Ben
you.
actually listened to R&B before I put him onto TP2.com. I think he did. I think he did.
This was
Ben
my
used to
shit.
write poems.
I did too.
Yeah, bro.
Look, when I moved from the apartments to the Hialeah house, I would sit in the hammock. What is this?
Ooh.
Oh, too close to the mic though.
I'll back it up.
It was like a story. It was like
Yeah.
a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were alive.
Yes.
You lived it.
Let's see what we got here. I forgot it was this long of an intro.
Yeah, it is. It's a long
It's
lead up.
almost done.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
There we go. A woman. God damn.
Still,
Son, I'm about to listen to this. Whew.
Still
A
not
woman's
better
worth.
than when a
Whew.
woman's fed up. When a woman's fed up.
When a
is
woman's
when
yeah.
when a woman's fed
Yes,
up.
son, R. Kelly. Boy.
Shit. Just title this podcast
Man, listen.
"The Boys and R. Kelly."
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, John. Don't do that.
The Boys, R. Kelly, and John
If they listen to the
Jones.
podcast,
No.
if they listen to the podcast and catch R. Kelly in the conversation, cool. But don't associate the title of this podcast with R. Kelly.
Well, look, if you
Let's
if
not-
you
let's
liked
not
R.
get-
Kelly, listen to you know Dave Hollister, right? From Blackstreet.
Oh, hell yeah. Come on.
Dave
Baby
Hollister,
Mama Drama,
1985, the
my favorite
movie?
Girl.
Yeah, 1985,
Yes.
the movie. That whole record, that whole album.
That was a good album.
Yo, listen to Dave Hollister, bro. He was the original lead singer of Blackstreet.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Dave Hollister.
Dude,
son.
there used to be this R&B singer in the 2000s that looked like David Blaine, and I forget. He came out with like 2 songs. And I can't remember who he is. Damn it. I'll remember and then I'll
Like
send
David
downloading.
Blaine,
Yeah, he looked like David Blaine.
some dude that he's been malnourished, and he looked like he's white and maybe
Middle Eastern
Saudi.
at the same time?
He's
Yes.
Saudi and white, and he hasn't been fed in 2 weeks.
Yes. Craig something? Was it Craig?
Oh, Craig David.
Craig David.
Oh, Craig David.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Craig
man.
David
7
from
days.
UK, yeah, British dude.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
like David Payne.
Dude, if we're gonna go random R&B singers, Jaheim, motherfuckers.
Jaheim was fire. He had a good,
Motherfuckers.
yeah.
What? Jaheim.
Man.
All right, man, we could do this shit. We're gonna have to have like an entire R&B podcast one of these days. We just delve into that shit and just reminisce. But
For sure.
It's 11:40.
Yeah.
I actually got to work tomorrow.
Not me.
It's 11:40. I'm working from home tomorrow. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. God,
I'm out.
I'm gonna have to insult him all next podcast to feel better about this.
I'm gonna cut the shit off right now.
Before you hit end.
Oh, okay. Go.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe everywhere. We're everywhere. Please follow Man Chatter Podcast. We out.
Steven, share this shit on your page, on all your social media profiles.